Oh, hello.
Bum.
That's
Finish
right.
it.
That's the rest of the theme song. But hey, nothing wrong with starting a little bit early. Everybody, hello and welcome to a slightly by 5 seconds earlier episode of the Ultimate Schmoedown Aftershow. My name is John Barr, and I'm excited to be here with all of you talking about 5 great matches from this past week in the movie Trivia Schmoedown. But of course, I can't do it by myself. One person talking about people remembering movies? That'd be ridiculous. I gotta do it with 3 of the best people that have ever been, quite frankly. And I'll start with the person that's right underneath me. Boggs, how are you doing today, sir?
Very good, sir. Yes, pleasure to be here. What's up, movie Trivia Schmoedown fans, Outlaw Nation fans? Lots of matches to talk about, lots of great guests. So let's get it on.
Absolutely. Let's get it on, and let's do it, of course, with our dear friend as well, Saul Govin. How you doing, Saul?
Doing good. You've just made my night even happier, like your little dance there. Just do some more dancing and it can make me perfect. And then also the ambulance. They're coming for you guys for dancing.
I feel like there's never been a whiter moment than you saying I love your dance and then me and Colin just doing shoulder movements like we're fucking doing the backstroke. It's ridiculous.
It's your gringo move.
That's right. And goodness gracious, I'm tempted to call him a guest of honor. My dear friend right over here, Colin Morris. Unfortunately, we love you to death, and we're always happy to see you. But this is going to be the last time on this show, anyway. I fear.
Yeah, for a minute. Who knows in the off season of next year, this summer, what might happen? But yeah, work's gotten a little crazy. I've taken on a bit more responsibility at work, so my work days have always been the weekends. So this is probably my last Saturday free for the next 4 months. So let's have a fucking party.
We're absolutely gonna have a party. And Colin, I'll tell you right now, you may not be able to join us on the show, but if you think I'm not going to be texting you more and more at fucking 6 a.m. my time, telling you about the Shaman King reboot on Netflix, you're sorely mistaken. You're not getting rid of us.
7-year-old me is so happy. The kid who was reading Shonen Jump, and now they finally made it. I'm like, oh, they've now made every manga into an anime from that. But
Absolutely.
Let's get into the show.
Let's get into it. And just as a reminder, folks, to all of you who are watching at home, thank you so much for watching, including folks like Justin Toner, Drunken Prayer, Jeremy Miller, Alan Smithy, Brendan Marr. Thank you all so much for watching, and anybody who I might have missed. Don't forget, we love it if you are able to comment along with us live, be a little part of the show. We get to read it out. Don't forget, if you are able to, we always appreciate any Streamlabs, any super chats you're able to send in, as well as, of course, being a member of the Discord. If you join over on the Patreon, you'll be able to ask our guests some great questions, whether by text or by face, because we'll put your face on our show. You will come in and be able to interact with the guests as well, and we always have great guests, so you know you want to be a part of that. But don't forget, also, we love not only just y'all commenting along, folks like Malcolm, who is asking if the new Shaman King is good. It is. But don't forget, you can also comment underneath our episodes when they are no longer live. Leave us your thoughts on what the episode was like before. And Saul is going to do us the great honor of reading out some of those comments from last week's episode. So Saul, take it away.
All right, first we have from Jeremy Miller going, love the shenanigans and the trivia games with Outlaw Nation. We did have some fun shenanigans. It was a lot of fun. I think my favorite was the game you came up with, John.
That's right. For anyone who missed last week's episode, I came up with a game where I just put up 2 random competitors' names, and I made everybody come up with a team name for them on the fly. It was a little chaotic, but that's what that episode was for, quite frankly.
And you got over 1 million points, right? Over 1 million points, John?
I didn't get over 1 million. I just got more than everyone else, as is my right as being the game's father.
Yes, of course.
It's the essence of the cones. They're the essence of the game.
And then we have from Chris Taylor going, I was promised shenanigans, and I got them. We always give what we promise.
Exactly. I've never said anything and not backed it up immediately, except for all of the times when I have. Anyway, is that it, I believe, for last week?
We have one more.
Oh.
And it was Tyler Hackner. He gave 2 emojis. It's 2 thumbs up. So we got not 1, but 2 thumbs up.
Hell yeah. There you go. Well, from 2 thumbs up on last week's to 2 great guests on this week. That's sort of a segue. That kind of works. Technically, it's true. Again, backing up everything I say. Well, for this week's episode, we are going to jump in with one of our first great matches. We're going to be talking about one of the ones that was filmed in the Cantina. We got that beautiful live energy, and we are so excited to have seen this gentleman in the live setting, and we're so glad to have him back, returning to the Ultimate Schmoedown Aftershow. He is one of the 4 rookie sensations of the Finstock Exchange who are part of this new tournament, because obviously they've got multiple rookie sensations. But this man, he is one of the wonderful gentlemen that are part of the tournament. He's one of the wonderful gentlemen that has watches and scarves on deck. I meant to say it in the reverse order, but I still said them both. So I'm right once again. Everybody give it up for the wonderful, often right about movie trivia, tyrant, Ty Lieberman. Hello, how are you doing today, Ty?
Hello. Thanks for having me back, although I really only came back because I left my credit card at the bar last time and came back to get it. But as long as I'm here, I'm happy to do your little scumdrum of a show.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for leaving your credit card. I was able to get some Apple TV months on there. So I really appreciate that. How are you doing today, man? What are you drinking? How are you feeling?
Just representing the Finstock Exchange here, the first faction to 20 wins. Can you believe it?
That's very true. And part of me can't believe it, just because I don't believe most people. I distrust lots of folks. But yeah,
we have a clip of the start of the season. Let's roll the clip from the start of the season. Oh, well, Finstock doesn't know what they're doing. What a Finstock Exchange! What a bunch of nonsense! Oh, 0 points! Blah 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 blah. That was then. That was then, and this is now.
That is how I sound exactly. And I'm a little bit perturbed that you were able to capture my voice.
I nailed it pretty good. It's the Philly accent you have to work on. But today I'm having a Malbec. So here we go.
Oh.
Delightful.
Oh. Also, I don't know if we talked about this last episode of talking about where we're from. I know you are a graduate of Michigan.
University of Michigan. Yes, we definitely discussed that because we talked about sports teams for a bit.
Yeah.
But did we discuss how my sister is also a graduate of that wonderful school?
I don't think I would remember that if we did, but I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
Well, you're basically my brother, is what I'm saying. So I hope that's an honor.
I thought you looked alike.
Wolverine brother. Yeah.
Objectively the coolest college town. I was there a few years ago, and I got to compare it and Michigan State's campus to each other, having not been to either before. And walking up to the big house as a college football fan it's religious. There was nobody there.
Michigan State the campus of Michigan State is fine if you like cow dung, the smell of cow dung.
And long walks, dude.
But
long ass walks to nowhere.
I tend to find that college campuses and the areas around them are usually delightful wherever you go, but I am impartial to Ann Arbor and the University of Michigan. Yes,
absolutely. Oh gosh. Speaking of wonderful moments from your past, I'm going to send this over to our wonderful producer to see if we can put it up on the screen. But in the movie trivia Schmoedown group, someone posted up a incredible picture of the Barbarian.
Yes.
In a short film of yours. Looking just absolutely like fantastic. So I just wanted also to talk about this wonder of a short film as well.
Well, what I don't think people realize, first of all, so Sherlock Homo was an idea that I had about a decade ago, and I wrote it out, and we filmed it over the course of a couple of weekends. And yes, it is the Barbarian playing the role of Dr. Watson, and the great Andrew Lorich, who is now producing political ads. He almost single-handedly, I think, helped Joe Biden win the election by some of the ads that he produced last year. So Andrew Lorich himself played the role of Sherlock, who just realized he came out of the closet, and while he's solving cases, couldn't help but celebrate his newfound identity. Now, yes, it is a Craig in the Barbarian in the picture, but what most people don't know is there's actually 3 of them. So if you find the video on YouTube and keep looking, you'll find all three Sherlock Homos from 2009. I might even make an appearance in one of them.
Wow, how about that? I mean, I guess my next comment would be, just thinking about obviously sharing a league with the great Ethan Irwin, what are the odds we can get you and the Barbarian into the next Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes film? How do we think we can make that happen? How many wins does the Finstock Exchange need to get for that?
Well, I think, I mean, I don't know if Ethan and I are friends after the copyright negotiations we had to go through for Sherlock Homo versus Sherlock Holmes. But you know, I'm always happy to. I will play a corpse in any of Ethan's films whenever he'd like. But the main thing I'd like to point, and again, you should all go and search. There he is.
There he is. Oh.
Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson. He's fantastic, Dr. Watson. Feel free to look for Sherlock Homo at your own convenience on YouTube. I think it still holds up. They haven't watched it in a while, so maybe it doesn't. Barbarian is in all three. I am just in one of them. I am in the locked room mystery or whatever it's called.
There we go. Well, hey,
Must
everyone can go watch that.
The only thing I remember is someone goes, "By Jove," and because Jove sleeps with Sherlock and a woman, so he's by Jove. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of that. I thought it was funny.
I mean, Colin did say Umish was great if you like long walks, so that almost makes sense.
Long walks in the snow. But I think the main thing is to know that Barbarian and I have been friends since he was half the size he is now. What's that? And no.
That is
we have been friends a really long time, and it really feels like a little bit like it was really like family when he asked me to be part of the Finstock Exchange, and hopefully we were able to carry that over to the rest of the team.
Absolutely. Real quick, before we dig into the match, we just got a Streamlab from our dear friend Drunken Prayer. Am I the only one that finds it strange that his name is Ty, but he wears a scarf? Right. I think we might have a pun on our hands, is what I think we're working with.
Well done, Chris.
How do you feel about it?
I have a lot of ties. I'm talking like 60 plus ties. A lot of them were inherited from my father, my grandfather. They had a lot. I just kind of absorbed them like a sponge. So I have a huge amount of tie collections. The problem with ties is ties implies dress shirts, and dress shirts lead to armpit sweat. And I'm one of the sweatiest people you will ever meet. So I know, yes, the scarf does not hinder the sweat, but you at least do not see it under my armpits. When I raise my arm in celebration, you will never see sweat. And so I don't know how a tie would work without a dress shirt. But that is a very keen observation. You are not wrong, but it's just a physiological thing where I would prefer to not wear dress shirts and would prefer to wear sweaters and scarves and other things to hide that part of myself. Also, the Tyrant character was born in early January when it was much, much colder.
That's fair.
In fact, in the near future, you might see me on camera wearing much less clothing than the sweaters. I'm sort of exploring a summer wardrobe and some of the things you might see taped in the future.
That's fair.
Bringing high fashion to the Schmoedown.
I think once this show moved over here to John Roca's YouTube channel was right when it was getting cold out here in Los Angeles. So I was wearing a lot of my like denim wool lined jacket, which made it again look like it was a lot colder in LA than it has ever been, even once. But what's great is that now that we've finally put the great tie versus scarf debate to bed, at long last, this can be added to the wiki. The lore and the canon has been set. Yes. We can talk about an incredible match that you had with Drew McWeeny.
Oh, how delightful that was.
It was quite a blast to be able to see you finally come into a live setting, get to meet all of the fans, even if all of the fans booed you.
Oh, they were saying Drew. Drew.
There we go. And see, sometimes that's one of the things that's lost in the digital experience.
Right. You can't tell. I mean, again, they weren't rooting for me, but they were just rooting for the Godfather himself.
Sure.
And if that's not a great plug for buying those live tickets, just making sure that the clear enunciation of the fans in the crowd is heard, I don't know what is. But in order to talk about this wonderful match, Boggs, I'm going to toss it on over to you, dear sir. Let's get into it.
Thank you very much, John. So, Ty, just wanted to know, how was it feel? How did it feel playing in your first live match getting the energy from the crowd, doing your kind of ring walk, if you will. How was that experience? Being your first time.
I think it's something that had been bottled up in me for months. We've had a couple digital matches, and I've tried my best to have big gestures, and I've thrown food, and I've done lots of large things trying to do the most I can on camera. But it really did kind of click with me when I got to the live event, to be able to turn it on, to kind of turn it up to 11 and play to the crowd and say mean things to the crowd and spit at the crowd and flip off the crowd. And yeah, I really did play off the crowd, so to speak. It's honestly not just me, which I don't think enough has been discussed about this yet, is other than Amaru Moses, who played at Collision, I think I'm only the second first-year player to have a live match this year. Adam Collins has never had a live match.
This is true.
It's really stunning how the digital age has been really cordoned off from the the ability to perform in person. And I just hope that when other rookies, other first-year players have a chance to perform in person, they grab the brass ring, so to speak, and they have fun with it as well. Because I had a lot of fun out there. And just because you join the league playing digitally doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't have fun in a setting like that. So I feel like I was representing all of the first-year players in the league, especially on the Finstock Exchange, by being the first to be able to go out and perform. I had a blast.
Yeah, it looked it as well. Also, did you eat the pasta that you made? Because it looked quite nice. So, you had all the vegetables on the side. I thought you were going to chop them up, put them in. It was sort of a... It was great. It was sort of a situation where I had a deadline to turn in a promo, and I was hungry, and we just killed two birds in one stone. It worked. It worked.
It's like, why not? Why not do it? Plus, as you know, I love throwing food around. So to go from throwing shrimp to talk about throwing pasta, it seems to be an undercurrent in the Tyrant universe.
Yes, definitely. So going into the first round, obviously, we do know in the tournament settings, especially the first round questions are harder. So apparently that's what we heard. And going into this, you did score just the 4 points. That's not obviously the highest round you've ever hit. How did that feel? In the live match, the crowd.
I just think it's funny that I've had 3 matches, and I think it really says a lot about you that you didn't mention that I have not missed a question ever in round 2 or in round 3, yet you're choosing to focus on the 4 questions that I missed in round 1. That's unnecessary antagonism, but I will still try to answer your question with respect.
Thank you, sir.
It sucked. I hated it.
Yeah, well, I can imagine, but I do apologize. We all get into round 2 and 3.
I don't think I was flustered. At first, I thought maybe the magnitude of the moment got to me, but when I watched the match back last night, I would not have got this question at home either. I don't think it had anything to do with the live setting. I think it's just a small sample size, and I didn't happen to know those questions. I maybe could have come with a better guess. Charlie Day, I think I should have got that in retrospect. But those first 3 questions, I was never going to get those.
Yeah, but you held your composure well. I thought, you didn't look rattled. You didn't look like it got to you. You were still, having fun, taking shots at, Rooster Cogburn and things like that. No,
and I think that's interesting. I think one interesting thing about playing a plane, as if this is a character, as being bold with some choices that I make, is by leaning into that, I can kind of take away from the fact that I might be a little nervous. I might be a little stressed out. I know I might have missed the first 3 questions, but if I can lean into some comedy or something else, that's helping me. It's not like maybe I'm trying to escape my mistakes a little bit by leaning into the character a bit more. So I actually think it's helpful to go bigger and bolder to kind of offset any mistake that might happen.
For sure.
You definitely had the best line of this week. This is a barn burner. They should put us in a barn and burn it. I laughed I had to pause the video because I was laughing so hard.
Well, thank you. So there's something I try to come prepared with some things, but I don't even remember saying that. I laughed when I watched that back. I do not recall that. There are a couple other things I don't remember saying, but
Improv. Your performance, sir. Your performance natural.
I asked for a bonus after I got 4. I don't remember asking for that. So there was, I don't know. You kind of get lost in the moment.
It works. So I'll stick with you, Saul. So any thoughts on the first round and any questions for Ty?
That was one of the things that you notice when players aren't playing well in the first round or not as well as they hope. You could see it in their face. They get like very sad, and like you see it in the face. And Ty kept composure. He was making jokes, and that's one of the things that I look for when I'm watching a player. Like, how are they going to react when they're not doing well? And when you see them having fun, making jokes, keep going forward, then you're like, okay, he's not out of this yet. We still got 2 more rounds.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Is by keeping up character, it helped, and also. Tom Dagnino was a big help because when I turned back to him, I was like, is he going to slap me in the face? What is he going to say? Because even if he says, shake it off, I'm thinking, shake what off? Oh, it. Why don't we can't talk about it. Me getting only missing 4 questions, blah, 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 blah. All he said, he looked me in the eye and said, hey, you're down 1. And that's exactly what I needed to hear. You're down 1. It didn't matter whether you missed 4, 6, or 2. You're down 1. This is what the situation is going for. And that, honestly, just to hear that was really calming as well. So I know people roll their eyes sometimes when they think of Gucci as a manager. I thought Gucci was an incredible manager that day. He said a few things in right before round 3 also that kind of centered me more. So I really thank Bobby Gucci a lot for his guidance in that match.
Yeah, I think that's his strongest skill. I think, like, everyone talks about his in-person, things that he says, arm around the shoulder, little wink that he gives you. So yeah, I thought that came across. So ending the first round, you did go first. You span famous actors and actresses. Yes. You did go perfect in the round. You went multiple choice a couple of times.
I went multiple choice a couple. But that 4th question was
it's tricky.
I should have just had them repeated just for the sheer, like, it was an incredible question. I was really, I was unhappy that I got it, but it was a fantastic, tricky question that I wish someone else would have had. And I sort of stumbled into the right answer. In the back of my mind, I knew that Black Goliath was a comic book guy and he came from someone. And so Ant-Man and the Wasp just seemed like that was going to be the right answer. But, I'd say that was the luckiest moment of the day because it could have very easily been Contagion or
you worked out well because I had to pause it because it was hard to understand the question.
It was a lot. I should have just asked him to reread it just for the heck of it. But I got the gist of the question, but I don't know. I feel like I wasn't even sure Lawrence Fishburne was in all those movies. He turns out he was. So I chose the one I was most familiar with. And then I really think somewhere in the back of my brain, William Foster becomes Black Goliath, or Bill Foster becomes Black Goliath. That was buried somewhere in there, and I was able to pull it out at the right time.
Yeah, and then McWeeny goes second. He just spun off wrestlers in film, lands on John Carpenter. He did go perfect in his round, went multiple choice on the first question. So I'll throw it to Colin. Thoughts on the match so far, second round in particular, and any questions for Ty, please?
No, that was going great. This is what you want in the tournament, right? You want even competition, not like these 5-7 point gaps, huge leads being taken. This is 1 point game round 1, 2 point game round 2. Yeah, Ty, your composure, like without saying any more than everybody else has, just impressive, man. Because coming out to the booze like that, like, for most people, it's
the
not
Drews. You're right.
It's not a paid fucking Drews, audience either, though. When most of those people Drews came out for the first time, it was like Collider employees and people at the studio, and you came out to a hostile audience and showed out, dude. It was awesome. Like, I would have been spooked. But what really stuck with me was how much did it mean to you to have Craig there leading you out? Like, with everything we already talked about, like, that had to be surreal. Just like how, like, oh, dude, we're here. We've been doing this on computers, but now look at us.
The whole thing's been surreal. There was a moment a couple months ago when John Roca was preparing for a match. We were all helping him prepare for the match, and someone had to go to the bathroom. Someone went to lunch, and there was about 15 minutes where it was just me going back and forth, feeding him questions. And part of my brain is asking him questions and listening to him respond. And the other half of my brain is like, what the heck is happening right now? I'm just some dumb rookie who didn't know what this was months ago. And now I'm in a faction with John Roca, and I am the one responsible for preparing him for this match. This is absolutely insane right now. People would pay for this, and I'm just so
people do pay for this. And by the way,
people do
folks,
pay for this. I'm just so lucky to
www.patreon.com/JohnBroca.
Right. So I'm so lucky to have stumbled into this. And then, of course, he got a TKO that day. So I feel like I might have helped with that in some way. And then Surreal, again, I've known Barbarian for a long time, so it's not weird to be out with him. But he's the person who was the most responsible. Him 80%, Ethan 20%, getting me into this league. And then to know that this match only happened because of what happened 6 weeks ago, where I may or may not have been partially responsible for McWeeny winning a match against the Barbarian. I did feel personally responsible to take it on. And so to have him there meant a lot. And to hear him, he has a very distinctive laugh. And or at least to me, I've heard him yell for so long that I can spot his voice. So when I was doing well, I could hear him. When I won, he was the first voice that I heard. So it was an incredible feeling to have him there. And I'm so happy that I was able to avenge him in the situation. This was a huge, I mean, I can't even stress, if I had lost this match, I fall to 1-2 as a player, 0-1 as a manager. Probably don't get another match this year. Who knows what happens when they shrink the league down again? There's a non-zero chance that the Tyrant just disappears completely. And now that I've won, I might end up this season 2-2 or 3-2 or 4-2 or 5-2, or I might end up with the belt and only have that one loss. Maybe I'll get a chance to manage again. Maybe I will be part of the new factions next year. Like this, I don't want to say this was a career-making win, but it certainly puts me on the right half of where I want to be going into 2022. So not that there was any pressure, but this was a huge victory for the Tyrant. Yeah,
but that definitely carries over in normal, not normal sports, but like sports as well. Like if you're on Sunday Night Football and you ball out, you're going to get talked about more on Monday than the guy that played at 1:00. Like that's just how it works. Right. And you showing out like that, like people have to take notice, and the right people were in the room too.
It was really nice to get a win right in front of the people who can keep you in the game.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No pressure there.
No better place to do it, man. But it was awesome. It was great seeing like you like just be you. And that was awesome because it's been, like you said, like Adam Collins, a player that I would love to see in the live setting just to see how it translates. But you pulled it off flawlessly, sir.
Yeah, we have no idea. I believe Collins has had 9. I might be wrong. Adam Collins may, between singles and teams, 7-0, but he was 1-1 as teams. I think Collins has had 14 matches, and they've all been digital. So I'm not saying that whatever talent he has is going to melt away in a live setting, but we've just never seen it, and it's just crazy how the last year and a half has unfolded in terms of the Schmoedown, where we put so much confidence and so much weight behind people, and yet we've never actually seen them in the setting where the Schmoedown was built upon. So it was nice to get out there in that setting, and hopefully now you know that in a live event, I'm going to show up. I almost swore. I'm going to show up. I'm going to ball out, baby.
You certainly did, sir. So, like you said, a lot of different kind of pressures going into the match. First live match, righting that wrong against McWeeny. You were down this match 12-10 going into round 3. And you showed a lot of characteristics. So people voting for player of the week. I think you're looking at the man right here. So
no, that's impossible. No, I can't. 20 points is not enough for player of the week. I'm sorry. And not when you played the same week as JTE.
True.
That's your player of the week right there, my friends.
Good point. So just finishing off this match, then getting into round 3, you did get your 2 and your 3, as did McWeeny. You got that 5 as well, that necessary roughness. McWeeny's 5. I wanted to know your thoughts during that. He did use obviously a repeat. Did you think he knew it? I did at home. It was a bit of a tense finish there. So thoughts on the final round and going
my
into the 5-pointer.
My thoughts were 2000. So late 2000s Russell Crowe film. There were 2 films that came to mind with similar titles. One was Body of Lies, and one was State of Play. Body of Lies was featuring, also starring Leo DiCaprio, and I thought it was about CIA stuff. And State of Play was also some government thing, and that was Ben Affleck. I don't know which one Helen Mirren is in. So I thought if I had to guess, I would have guessed State of Play. it wouldn't have shocked me if the answer was Body of Lies. You know what the answer was not was Proof of Life. I don't know why Russell Crowe was so gravitated to blank of blank movies between State of Play, Proof of Life, and Body of Lies. So I was not 100% sure that State of Play was the right answer. I was 100% sure that he missed it because it was one of those two.
Right. It makes sense. Yeah. And I agree with you, Logan, in the chat that seeing Sam kind of celebrating or being disappointed before they've announced the winner.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
You saw both reactions.
I was just going to say,
I saw Sam being happy, like, because he thought he knew it. Like, Sam kind of did the, like, he's got this. He knows this. We've been over this. And then he says, whatever. Which one did he say?
Yeah, so that wasn't something. Yeah. So when you're standing there, you can't, there's like a bar between us. So, like, I had no idea. I couldn't see Sam the entire match. So when I was watching that back, that was the first thing that registered with me is you could see Sam. Sam's not a tall man to begin with, but he shrunk down. It's true. He shrunk down to the even. I like Sam. He's just not a tall man. He shrunk down even smaller than he already was. So that was that got me a little emotional for a brief, and then they cut to me celebrating, or it actually kind of looked like I might have been pointing at him, which was funny. Like you might not have been able to tell, but no, that was me knowing that. Again, wasn't sure what the right answer was, but I knew that Proof of Life wasn't it.
Yeah, come from behind win. You know, a lot of boxes ticked in this match, I felt. So, proved a lot of people wrong, or, you stamped your authority in this tournament. So, John, any final thoughts on this match, round 3, or any questions?
Can I say something? Can I say something really random?
Sure.
I met a lot of people that day at the taping, and I thought Drew McWeeny was actually one of the nicest people that I met. So,
awesome.
I mean, he did not deserve to win, but lest it be known that, if he wanted to, actually, now that I think about it, if he could ever get Sam out of retirement, above the line, coming back, Barbarian and I think Barbarian and I could be there waiting for them. Just putting that out.
Schmoedown All-Star Weekend. This will be my lasting impression that I am fighting for Schmoedown All-Star Weekend, where we can make matches like that happen.
And shout out to Alan Smithy as well. He's an Outlaw Nation patron. I saw him on the match as well. He's in the chat now.
I was looking for Sean the whole time. I was like, "Where's Sean?"
John, please go ahead. Any questions for Ty?
I mean, listen. First of all, obviously Sam Levine. I don't know how tall he is truly, but of course, short kings rise up. Absolutely, as a member of the 5'9" brigade here on the Ultimate Schmoedown Aftershow, have to represent for the short kings and queens everywhere.
I thought McWeeny was a bigger dude, and we were standing toe to toe. And I'm a larger man than he. Maybe that says more about the pasta, the wine that I've been eating. But
I mean, listen, Mark Ellis is 2 feet tall.
I was led to believe McWeeny was a larger man than myself, and I think
he's next to Sam.
I need to go to the gym. Yeah, I need to go to the gym. I think.
They always say that the camera adds 20 pounds and also 5 feet.
There are a lot of cameras out. There are a lot of cameras on me at the
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of leads me into my real final thoughts, because, like, obviously not much to say in the third round other than you just stuck with it, and that's how you were able to capitalize on that missed 5-pointer by Drew McWeeny and get yourself that deserved win. So mostly I just have questions for you, starting with the fact that certainly when it came to those post-match interviews, they were not a fan of you. There was some more of the Drews chants from the audience.
Yes, the Drews were
obviously Steph Bradshaw also was none too pleased with your treatment of the Godfather, the
Steph
Barbarian.
Sabra?
Yes. What did I say? Did I say Bradshaw?
I said Steph Bradshaw.
I don't know if I know any Bradshaws.
The wife of JBL? I have no idea who that was supposed to be.
Oh, my favorite person, JBL, of course.
Steph
Sabra. My goodness.
Steph Sabra, who's also lovely by coincidence, because they taped the Ethan Dan title match was taped after ours. And I just grabbed a seat in one of the booths, and Steph Sabra said, excuse me, ended up sitting next to me during the match. So we became buddies randomly. Again, this is surreal. I'm sitting watching the title match, Ethan and Dan right in front of me, sitting next to Steph Sabra, asking her to hand me a bottle of water. What's going on? This is nuts.
You love to see it.
No, I think there was a little residual animosity from way that the Barbarian McWeeny match ended. That just had to get that out in the post-game interviews. There was just a little bit left. Now it's out. Now it's gone.
There you go.
That's chat in the chat from Leo. McWeeny has been eliminated in the first round every time in the singles tournament. JTE and Draco and now Ty. That is like seeing now 7 losses next to McWeeny's name just feels like so weird on the pedestal I hold him on.
Well, you want to know what's even stranger is my next opponent, William Bibiani. I thought, and he is a legend in the game. His singles record is something like 12-10. What I don't know who the 10 people are that beat him, but it was shocking to see how, forgive me for being honest, how mediocre his singles record has been.
Well, and that's interesting you should bring up specifically Mr. Bibiani, because as you mentioned, yes, he is your next opponent. And as you yourself pointed out, the last time you were on our wonderful program.
No.
You
Wait,
mentioned,
What did I say?
You mentioned that like he was one of the people you would perhaps like to see next in the ring. And now it's come to pass.
I did, didn't I?
You did. So how do you feel about that prediction?
This is the second time this has happened. I mean, back in April, we were having a scrimmage, and Griffin Newman and Jeffrey Kahn were playing on a team. And I said, you guys should be King Arthur. And I spoke that into existence. And now I have spoken into existence the fact that I said I would want to play William Bibiani in a match. I said I would most want to play him and be most scared of playing him. And I am absolutely playing him next. Yes, I screwed that up. I should have called out Wittenben or somebody. I don't know.
You have the gift of foresight.
R.I.P. Yeah. I was going to ask, now that we know of your soothsaying abilities, is there anything else you want to predict real quick before we dig into some of the Patreon questions for you?
In my match against Bibiani, I'm expecting William Bibiani to get 22 points, and it's going to be up to me to pass that. If I get 20 again, I'm not going to win, and if I can get 23 or above, I'm going to win. That's what I'm predicting. I'm not expecting Bibiani to just tank. I got him at 22 points. It's just a matter of whether I'll be above or below that.
There you go. It's also worth noting that with you and JTE, your performances this past week, you were actually able to surpass the usual suspects in the faction standings. And now your next opponent is, of course, a member of the Quirky Mercs, who is now the faction right above you in these faction standings. So I was curious, is that something you ever think about? Is it usually something that like you're not too perturbed with because you're just focused on your opponent? But how does it feel to now be someone actively on the front lines of this faction war?
I don't think too much of the standings because I have a tremendous inability to remember who's on which faction. So I'm not even sure I put together that was the Quirky Mercs that Bibiani is on, but now it makes sense, which is Horowitz. So it's Horowitz's faction. So this is a revenge match against Coy. Oh, this is going to be good. All right. I want to get revenge for that Horowitz thing. Oh, and Horowitz is facing Newman. So that's a double. That's a double. Oh, a double. Quirky versus Finstock, me versus Bibiani, and Horowitz versus Newman. I'm just putting this together now because I'm very ignorant when it comes to this faction stuff. No, I don't. I'm not going to try any harder because I'm trying to climb up the standings. Like, I know there's some people out there like, Jeff Sneider who might try less hard because they're down in the standings. But pause for effect. But I personally think I am not going to try any less hard. I will try to compete no matter what.
There you go. And I'm certainly not going to make fun of you for any sort of ignorance, considering I just called Steph Sabra Steph Bradshaw. So I don't know anything.
The great Steph Bradshaw.
Absolutely, everyone's favorite. Boggs, I don't know if we have any final comments that you want to make on this match, but we can absolutely perhaps toss it over to Saul to start getting into some of our wonderful patrons.
Yes, I would like to add one more thing.
By all means.
I don't see my name up there in the Rookie of the Year conversation at all. I get it. I might not be your most favorite player. I might not be the best player, but look at all the people who live in New York. Horowitz, Alvarez, Newman.
Boston.
Page lives in Boston. You got Harper in the Carolinas. You got Evan, goal leader in Georgia. Taylor, the Rager in Ohio. Brother Lomas in parts unknown. Jacoby in Vegas. Jacob in Australia. You got Peggy in Chicago. I'm the one who lives in Los Angeles. Myself, Haas, Jeffrey Kahn. So even if we're not the best or your favorite rookies, we're the ones most likely to be around next year when the digital age shrinks down. So I would buy your stock in myself, Haas, Kahn, all these Finstock rookies, because we're the ones most likely to be around for next year. So when you pick the rookie of the year, you think about who's going to be the rookie for years to come. That's me, the tyrant. End of tyrant.
Beautiful.
Oh, I did look up. I tried to go through all the videos of Schmoedown Past and figure out how Bibbs got 10 losses. He lost to Bateman. He lost to Christian. He lost to...
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. He lost to Christian.
Okay.
He lost to JTE.
Oh, of course.
He lost to Liz Shannon Miller and Draco.
Okay.
And I'm struggling, and I think Sneider. There's a whole. But it's a list of people that you're like, well, those are good players. So if they have a good day, it's hard to beat them on a good day.
Oh, Drunken Prayer might be right. Maybe that's where Lomas lives. I like parts. I assume you live next to the Ultimate Warrior in parts that know, but
I think he lives in the fucking black barn from the comic book Gideon Valley. That's in.
What a pull!
No, but here's and then Bibiani. Like, I mean. The usuals, the Quirky Mercs. I don't know who's on whose team. The Quirky Mercs. They've done really well this year, but they're very top heavy faction. They're maybe the most top heavy faction in the league. And I don't even know if Bibiani wanted to play singles, but he had to because the bottom of the faction is so weak. So Bibiani is probably tired by now. He's one of the maybe on the best team in history. He's got to be focused on that. I don't even know why he wants to be in the singles tournament. So I'm just thinking, if I'm a veteran like Bibiani, maybe you just want to like a little soft landing and bow yourself out of the tournament, and I can provide the pillow, my friend. I can provide the pillow. Cheers.
Oh, and John Roca. John Roca beat Bibbs to.
Well, of course, yeah, of course.
Sorry, everybody. I know it's not my job anymore, anyways, but I didn't want to get fired before my last show was even over.
Yeah, let's get some Discord questions. We've got some patrons coming in to ask you some questions as well, Ty. So we've got some Discord questions for you first, though.
Yeah. So starting with Drunken Prayer, best food to pair with nice Chianti besides liver and flava beans. Is that a
nice
Scottish
Chianti?
That's a preference,
right? I like a good steak. You can't go wrong with that. I like calamari. Any sort of fried calamari is lovely. And if you're in a pinch, the soft taco from Taco Bell is also a nice cheap thing you can just stuff in your mouth.
And cheap right there. That works. And then you have Gift Taylor going, what is one movie character you would share a bottle of wine with?
Why am I so... Wait, Alan Smithy. I remember Alan from the taping. Why am I... I don't know why you're so damn sexy, Alan. I have no idea. Or,
is that an inside joke between the two of you?
Oh, no, I know. He asked me why he was so damn sexy. So I have no idea why Alan's so sexy. All right, sorry. What was your question?
The question was from Gift Taylor. What is one movie character you would share a bottle of wine with?
One movie character? Ooh. Interesting.
Not Hannibal Lecter, is it?
No, Lannister is the TV answer.
I would have loved to go to the party in the hours that Meryl Streep and Allison Janney were throwing. If I could get in and out before Ed Harris jumped out the window, that would be the goal. But I don't think I'd want to be there after that. But that seems like a fun party. Or secondly, I would love to go to the party that they throw at Frances McDormand's house in the first act of the film Wonder Boys, where they steal Marilyn Monroe's jacket. It's a college party. It's absolutely the quintessential, like what every college party feels like in my memory, even though I know it was not that. So if I could go to both of those parties, if I could go to Meryl's party in the afternoon and go to Francis's party in the evening and avoid all the criminal and death and everything that else happened afterwards, that would be a fantastic day. And then I'll just bring my own wine, just keep it under my I don't have to share it with anybody else.
There you go. It's all about timing. All about timing.
Yeah.
And then you have,
If someone's sitting on the windowsill, just hail a cab.
yeah, it'll just leave. And then we have from Jeremy Miller asking, who's your favorite?
Jeremy Miller asked me a question last time. I forgot what it was, but I remember that name. Yes.
Question legend, Jeremy Miller.
We love Jeremy Miller here. He's always interacting with us. Keep doing it. He wants to know, who's your favorite actor or actress?
Without giving away,
it's easy to say Meryl Streep because of just her huge body of work. I don't know. Do I have a favorite actor or actress? I'm not sure that's a fair question. I've really enjoyed Daniel Kaluuya the last few years. I feel like everything that he's been in has been incredible. But I can't say he's my favorite actor. That seems weird. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able.
Is there an actor whose performances like you can't miss? Like they have a movie that's coming out and you're going to see it regardless if it's hot dog shit.
Well, I'm going to see all the James Bond movies, but I don't think that really means that Daniel Craig is the actor that I'm going to bend over backwards for. There's a lot of Jack Nicholson movies that I haven't seen. I'm actually going through it. I mean, I'm not trolling anyone, but in the last month I have watched both Going South and Drive. He said, the two movies that showed up in the Bateman-Irwin match. There's a lot of I think like young Jack Nicholson is great. I mean, he's not doing anything right now, but so it's incredible. You don't need to see anybody new. There's just a lot of stuff out there that maybe I haven't seen before. I don't know if there's someone that's really like jumping out to me as people that I absolutely need to see. And Meryl Streep is such a generic answer that
It's a good answer though.
I don't know. Daniel Day-Lewis can get annoying. I'm just trying to think about this.
Just run down the list of other Mamma Mia actors and actresses.
Oh, well, I'm talking just Mama. Well, not Pierce Brosnan. Once he started singing in that movie, that was I don't know if I can watch those Bond movies again now that I've heard him sing.
Is it one of the possible dads, the scientist guy from Thor?
Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah,
Stellan
Skarsgård.
Yeah,
He's one of the dads, right? That's a good 3 or 5 pointer. What MCU actor was one of the?
I think Jeremy Miller stumped me last time too. Jeremy Miller.
He said in the comments,
chat,
I asked you about the best movie while watching wine.
Yeah, and
while drinking wine.
You're right. And then I said Clue, and then I'll probably stick with Clue. And then, gosh, he has really good questions. I don't know who my favorite actor or actress are. I think I would watch anything Daniel Kaluuya does for the next 5 years. He has a bit of a lead on it. I don't know. Trailing off.
Good choices.
I like it's so lame to say Leonardo DiCaprio, but he just tends to only be in good movies. So it's not like you're going to see Leonardo DiCaprio on like a straight to DVD thing with Katherine Heigl. No offense. So there's just some people
in the Paw Patrol sequel, Leonardo DiCaprio in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible. Anything can happen.
The more important question is, will you be joining in the Meryl Streep chants in all the live events whenever she's on the wheel?
She was on the wheel in my event against McWeeny. I think McWeeny put it on the wheel because I know he's I'm not saying McWeeny is old, but his social security number is 12. So I think he was pause for laugh. Thank you. And then I think Streep and Nicholson, Carpenter, there's a lot of like stuff in my dad's generation that was on that wheel, and I think McWeeny was responsible for a lot of it. No, I wouldn't mind spinning Meryl Streep or having my opponent spin Meryl Streep. I just think it's sad that she's been backstage at so many events and she hasn't been able to come out and tip her hat when they spin her.
Hopefully for the final Schmoedown match that ever happens, they'll have her come out and be one of the players. Right. She'll finally come out, voice her support.
Her and Julia Roberts.
Yeah. All right.
And then our last question here we have from Darren Wright going, has being a part of the exchange been all you could have hoped for?
It's much more than I could have hoped for. Look, it would be so easy to have been drafted to a faction as like one or like as the only one or one of two first-year players. And I don't like to use the word rookies, mainly because I stutter a lot on the letter R, so I like to say first-year players. So there's it could have been very easy to be on a faction with one or two first-year players, and to be on a faction with 8 first-year players and Taylor Robinson, who they refuse to call a first-year player, even though she's absolutely one of the gang, one of the rookies. It's just incredible because our eyes are all wide, and like there's nothing that's too big for any of us. It's like, hey, we're doing a Lord of the Rings study session on Thursday afternoon, and if we're not, and even if we don't all show up, we'll at least all consider it, because it's not like we have, oh, I'm too good for that. No, we're all there. We're all there to support each other, and Brother Lomas, and I really hope Brother Lomas gets at least one more match this year. He's not just an incredible performer, but someone who's been incredible to study with. And I know the Rager has another match with Alvarez coming up, and King Khan's in the tournament. And I don't even, everyone knows about Griffin. I don't need to talk of Griffin anymore. That's already been done. He has a chance to be in the stage twice at the Globe Theater in December 4th. Buy your tickets now. So, and then Moose, and then poor Evan, the Star Wars guy, just sits in the corner begging people to ask him Star Wars questions, or are like, "Ooh, don't talk to that guy." But sometimes we do. Sometimes Moose or myself will wander over and see, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" And he's incredible too. So it's just great to have us all in the faction together. And I just think we're the future of the league. And it's funny when you think about like what's going to happen in 2022, 2023. My rivals are my faction right now. I'll be feuding with Rager and Lomas and Khan and Griffin in years to come. Not because I hate these people, but because we're going to end up split up at some point in the future. And just these are the people I came into the league with. And I'm getting a little emotional. Like we really are kind of a family. That emotion was fake.
Even if it's fake, I love it so much.
Jeffrey Kahn had a very quicker one. He said, yes. Next question.
Fair enough.
He wanted to save the tears for later.
That's right. Well, right. Soul, that might be the end of the Discord questions, but I believe we have a couple of patrons to come in as well. And also, folks, I will say, if you want to come in, obviously patreon.com/John Roca. But also, please do keep your questions brief, because obviously Ty has been very kind, gracing us with his time. But we also want to make sure that he has the time to go on and do other things.
Well, I was just about to say I have a brisket in the oven, but if you would like to keep me on for 10 minutes or so when JTE was here, I wouldn't mind talking to that man. We have the same birthday. We just found that out. August 19th.
I saw Craig's tweet about that.
Right,
funnily
which is
enough,
an incredible coincidence. We both had a birthday on the 19th. We both won a match on the 20th, and we're both here today on the 21st. So I don't mind sticking around for a few minutes to talk crap with JTE, but I will have to leave shortly after that.
I'm bummed I'm going to miss the brisket, but I'm excited for you.
Oh, hold on. You said brisket. I'm a brisket guy. What'd you do to that puppy before you put it in?
I think he just froze.
And with that, we are going to.
I'm just trying. I'm not cooking. I am not cooking anything. I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you actually had a brisket.
No,
I love a good brisket.
There's a very thin line between me as a real human being and shtick. That was shtick. You got to learn the difference.
That's fair enough.
This is why you're leaving the show, because you can't tell the difference.
We cracked the code. Well, with that, let's get on one of our first wonderful patrons to join us. I believe it is Canada Rocks. First up to bat, there he is.
Oh, hello.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers. First of all, Mr. Lieberman, I apologize.
Yes.
Your logic is a bit flawed, because rookie has one R, but first-year players has 3 Rs. That's all I'm saying. But
it's the initial R that I can't say.
I figured that. I'm a stutterer.
I often use circuitous language in life to avoid stuttering on certain things, and the R is the number one thing that I try to avoid.
Okay, I stutter a lot as well, so I grant you. And I'm a bit conflicted because I like you, I like your shtick, but you clearly stole it from me. It's
you got to copyright that, man.
I know. I
different in
learned
Canada,
a lesson
bro.
learned. Hollywood is a cruel mistress. But here's my question. So you've a couple of I want to know a couple of differences between the non-live match, like the digital matches and the live matches. So the first one, is your character, your shtick, is this transfer 100%, or did you have to make tweaks? And second, now that you don't hear the managers, how is the talk more like, is it more real? Because sometimes the talk seemed a little fake from the managers. So those are like those two.
No, I'd say for me personally, my character was meant for a live setting. The fact I tried my best to make it big and make it impressionable on the small screen, but at the same time, I was really happy to get the call to do the live event, and hopefully every match I can do in the future is live. I know that's not always the case. There are some people I might be playing in the future who might not want to do live, and I understand that, or they might be far away, and I understand that too. So I'm happy to go back to the small screen, but like I really felt like an uncaged animal at the Cantina match. So the character was designed to be big and live. As you're talking about, I always found, so this is very interesting because I thought being able to hear the managers talk to the people back and forth was very interesting, because you get to hear deliberations. That was my initial thought. I don't think you really got to hear that much though when you think about it. I enjoyed some of the comedy bits, but there was one moment where Kate Mulligan, I think it was Peggy's first match. Peggy got a little shaken in the first round, and Kate gave her a speech, and it was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful things I've heard in the Schmoedown, like 30-second, like, girl, you got this kind of speech. And like that kind of stuff is wonderful to hear. And I think we're all lucky to hear that. But most of the conversations are like, oh, I don't know. You spun it, but I like it. I don't like it. Maybe 50-50. If we get it, we get it. But I'm going to spin again. Like, it's just a lot of fiddle faddle, if you're being honest.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it is more honest. There's more cursing when we're not on camera talking to each other. And it is more blunt because it is just between two people rather than two people playing to a camera. So there are things that you will miss not being able to see it, but for the most part, you're just down to business. And again, I was very happy with the way it was managed by Gucci in my live match. And if that means we never get filmed again, so be it, because that's exactly what I needed to hear.
Okay. Oh, well, one last thing. There's one person you forgot to mention who actually beat Bibiani, and that's Drew McWeeny.
No, not me.
Oh, sorry. I meant Colin. I meant Colin. Drew McWeeny beat
You're
him.
our researcher, bro. You had the best pull of the week.
That's right. Drew McWeeny beat him, and you beat Drew. So you got a chance.
Okay, so yeah, if Drew beat Bibiani, then I got a good chance. And again, I just think Bibbs, I have tremendous respect for Bibbs. I've seen the third free-for-all where Bibbs almost ran the whole table. I just think he's a tired man. 2021's been a long year. He's got some soap to sell. He is on one of, if not the best team in history, and he just might need a break. I just think if he wants to get out of the tournament, no shame. Just let me know, and just let me know how many points he wants to lose by. We can make it happen.
Cheers. Good luck, sir.
Gracious. Thank you so much for the comments.
See you soon, bud.
Reiko, lovely to have you. As we bounce on over to our second person, who I believe is Drunken Prayer. Maybe, perhaps. Let's find. It is. Hello. Hey. How's it going?
Yes, the old nemesis. By the way, thanks for correcting me about
nemesis.
No, I'm talking about Ty correcting me on the Burt Reynolds vs Tom Selleck thing last time he was on.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
We thought none of us picked up on it, to be fair.
We hold a grudge.
I really hope Alvarez fixes internet. That was last time.
That leads me nicely onto the question. So, seeing as you corrected me on the Tom Selleck vs Burt Reynolds thing last time, better car, Magnum PI's Ferrari, or Smokey and the Bandits Pontiac Trans Am?
Well, these aren't movies.
Yeah, one of them is.
Well, so I choose the movie. I choose the Smokey and the Bandit car, or I would take Bert and Dom's car in a Cannonball Run. Also, that was not given to me, but I might prefer that just for the longer distance. If I want to go to Vegas, I need a car like that. I'm not gonna be I would rather travel long distances than escape the local sheriff. Although, I mean, with politics it is these days, maybe you do want to escape the local sheriff. I don't know.
Certainly want to escape the sheriff out here in Los Angeles. I'll tell you that. Goodness gracious!
Yeah.
What a clown. Well, Drunken, you are not a clown, and thank you so much for coming in with your question of cars.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I feel like we don't talk about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang enough as a
flying car. Let's go.
Yeah.
If you ask Boggs nicely, he might do his Dick Van Dyke accent.
Will I?
Oh goodness.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm putting you on the spot now.
I think we can all do a Dick Van Dyke act. I don't think Dick Van Dyke could do a Dick Van Dyke accent.
I heard Chris.
That guy's still alive. 95 years old, Dick Van Dyke.
Still raking in Disney checks. Good for you, dude.
Yeah,
raking in those Disney checks.
No, good for him. I thought he died last year for some reason. Well, good to know he's still alive.
You thought just as soon as he stepped off the set of Mary Poppins Returns, he just immediately flopped?
Oh, right.
Is that what?
He stepped off Mary Poppins, went into Guardians of the Galaxy too. Did you not see him?
Oh, yeah, he played Star-Lord. I forgot that he replaced Chris Pratt in the sequel. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, thank you so much, Drunken Prayer.
That's a movie I need to see now. Anyway, thank you,
that's the next What If.
Of course. Oh, Saul.
Oh,
Saul. God bless
Oh,
you.
John
As we
and
move
Saul.
on to our third wonderful caller, who I believe is the aforementioned director, Alan Smithy.
Oh, wait.
There he is.
Really quick. Since whatever I say becomes true, I just want to say that I'm going to win a belt this year.
There you go.
There you
go.
I just
May
need
as
to
well
put
say
that
it.
out there. I made King Arthur happen. I made William Bibiani happen. So now I'm going to win a belt at the Globe Theater. Thank you, Con. For
I needed you to specify because it could have been like a WWE, like SmackDown belt. It could have been, just like a rodeo belt. You needed to specify.
I'm going to win a killer deal
Gucci
at
could
the
give you a
Silver
Gucci
Lake
belt.
Flea Market. For belts.
There's talk. There was some talk about Ethan being double or triple belted, and honestly, I'm not saying that I've gained weight during the quarantine, but I might be double belted soon. Just like I have to tie two belts together in order to keep my pants up. It's been a long 18 months.
Smithy's belted. Look at
And
him.
look at Alan Smithy.
Anyway, Smithy, sorry to.
Alan
Alan from the cantina. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, what's up?
Yes.
First question, I'm just curious. Do I remind you of Gucci's estranged father? What do you think? He's just that cool.
I think you look more like his mother.
Oh, well, there you go. Is that a reference to the Moobs? What are you talking about? But no. But anyway, like the shirt too, by the way. Finstock Exchange.
It's
Nice.
available on some store.
T-Bone.
Order it today. It'll get there in November.
All right.
It used to be T Public. Now it's Skybound. Go to the Skybound store.
I don't pay attention to this.
That's right. And I don't know how that comment got through earlier. I was just a stream of consciousness in the chat. But anyway, it was pretty tricky.
You did a
Anyway.
great job on that.
Well, Ty, I do have one question, and
Yes,
it's a pretty practical question. What if in a 3-round match or even a 5-round match, what is your favorite round? He puts on the thinking cap. The drinking round. Anyway,
Last one.
they should have one.
drinking round. I don't get the betting round at all. I don't know why they have it.
Sometimes you bet 3, and the question is like, what's the name of the sled in Citizen Kane? And
Right,
it's
but
like,
everyone should be betting 3.
That's a holdover from season 1. Like that was in regular matches in season 1.
oh, really?
So that's kind of like a generational.
There was a lot of discussion between what do we do the like they wanted to do the fast money or if they wanted to do the buzzer.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't understand why they don't do both and just get rid of the bet.
Well, isn't it a
The betting
choice?
round. Yeah.
In a championship match, does the champion not have a choice
I
in a live setting?
I hate
do
to
what you're
break it
told.
to you. Never been a champion. Don't know how that works.
It'd be interesting to
Okay.
see though, like if one of the, like if somebody, in one of these matches just like screw it, let's bring it back.
I believe Christian has made his
I-
thoughts on the fast money round rather
Yeah,
clear.
Right.
I mean,
What do you
I just
guys?
think-
How do
I
you
just
feel
think
about
round
people
one?
holding the buzzer in their hands? Though, see, there's a difference. Some people hold it.
I've been
while
yelled
others
at
have it
Mark
on the
for
ground.
doing that, so I have different views.
Yeah.
I just think let's not customize, let's not specialize, let's not put more points on things. I just think round one is the purest round. The free for all, I love the free for all because anyone could win, and it's just pure questions. There's no like this is worth 2, this is worth 3, this is worth 5. You get a multiple choice of this one. It's just here's the question: do you know it or not? It's just the simplest one. So, as at a risk of sounding like a Neanderthal, I think round one / what they do in the free for all is just the purest thing.
There you go. You're not a caveman. Don't worry. It's cool.
I'm not a kid, but I want to bring up again that they've never missed a question round 2 or round 3. So perhaps those would be my favorite rounds.
And final question.
Yeah.
How much wine can you drink before you have to stop drinking wine?
A couple people have asked me, they're concerned about the amount of wine that they drink.
I'm not concerned.
And,
I'm concerned you're not
what I
drinking
tell
enough.
them- No, it's what they don't factor in is the amount of vodka I drink before I end up on camera. That's
yeah.
the wine on camera is nothing. It's the pre-party.
I have a question for Alan Smithy.
Yeah.
Will Ty be in your next movie?
I want that scarf on screen. So either I'm borrowing the scarf or Ty's coming with the scarf.
If I'm in your next movie, I'm taking my name off of it.
That's the way it works. I take my name off of it too. Jeez. Anyway, I'll make a movie about a killer scarf that is possessed and it strangles people to death when they wear it. It's an interesting movie. But anyway.
Oh,
all right.
It's like Christine, except it's a scarf instead of a car.
Right.
All right.
Like somebody's soul possessed the scarf and kills people that try
I'm
to
write
you.
that tonight.
There you go.
I'm going to start it right now. Hey,
there you
Google.
go. Well, thank you so much, Alan Smithy, for that question and for that movie plug. It sounds like we've got a fourth one on the way, I guess. Yeah. And then I believe we have a fourth person who might be able to come on screen. I don't know.
Mom.
Is that a thing? Who do we have?
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Hey.
Fucking go.
My birthday buddy.
Happy birthday, buddy. Cheers.
Yeah, me and Ty have the same birthday.
Yes.
August 19th, now my favorite day.
And hey, JTE, how did you celebrate yours? Because I celebrated mine with a victory in the Schmoedown.
I also did that. And then had a little party last night. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, but JT, here's the thing. People didn't think I was going to win. What about you?
Yeah, that seems to be the case for me in a lot of my matches.
Cheers.
People think we're not going to win.
No.
You know what the best thing this week has been, though? It's been Sherlock Homo. I watched the first episode. Craig is so funny. I actually shot a short film in college called Sherlock Robo Cop.
Okay.
Where RoboCop is Sherlock Holmes, and he's gay. So I
believe Robert Downey Jr. was also the star of that one, right?
So I don't know.
There are three Sherlock Homos. I'm only in one, but Craig is in all three. I think Craig might have more lines than Sherlock. Honestly, I think he fought for those. So.
Yeah,
the master negotiator.
You can find them all on YouTube.
They're funny. I just love the premise.
I love that both of you did Sherlock Holmes things. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Sherlock RoboCop. It was pretty awesome. Very violent. It basically is just he solves every case by shooting a guy in the dick, like in the movie.
There you go. Yeah.
That's how every case ends. Like Sherlock's on the case. Yeah. What did he do? He shot the guy in the dick.
And weirdly, the one who committed the crimes in Sherlock RoboCop, the bugs from Starship Troopers. I don't know how.
There you go. So yeah, what's going on? What you guys been talking about?
This weird thing that
about
people
the glory of the Finstock Exchange, the first faction to 20 wins.
Yeah, this point system needs to be reworked. Like, how does the faction with the most wins, most TKOs, not in first place? Like, too many points are given to these belts, man. They got to restructure the whole thing.
Goodness gracious. Well, I mean, I was just telling Ty, he's got a shot at the Quirky Mercs, who is, of course, the faction currently right above y'all in the standings. But, yeah, I mean, we're also thinking about how King Arthur, hypothetically, in going through this upcoming teams tournament, could potentially have a shot at Shazam. In which case, that could be a big belt-winning, points-scoring match for y'all. Do you think it's going to happen? What do you think are the King Arthur odds?
Of course. I mean, me and Roka stepped aside just so these new guys can come in and, take a shot at it because, we're training together. We're having these mock matches and we're like, these guys are great. They could easily win the belt. So we decided me and Roka took the first half of the year. We made it. We're one game away from getting to the championship. And now we're going to give these guys a shot. And I'm pretty confident they're going to go pretty far.
And it's incredible because, again, the last Rushmore match, they missed one question and they lost.
Yeah.
So it's not like they flamed out and crashed the car into the ravine. No. They went out with maybe their best match of the year. And I was shocked that they bowed out of both. And I was just lucky to be a beneficiary of both JT and Roka not wanting to do it. And thank you again, because I won my first tournament match and it feels fantastic. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh. I'm hoping you at least get a big pasta dinner tonight if you didn't get one on the night of your birthday as well. Just some gorgeous tortellini, some fettuccine, some farfalle.
We're talking here, Ty.
Both.
Me, yeah.
I want you. I wish pasta upon both.
You know what?
I got houses.
Ty, maybe you can help me out.
I don't think anyone's questioned yet why I'm smelling the noodles and not the pasta sauce in my promo, but let's not worry about it.
I didn't need to find a good pasta place in LA. But can you recommend anything, Ty? What's a good pasta place around here? Where I live.
In the valley?
Yeah, or Valley or Hollywood. I'm like 2 minutes from Hollywood.
I mean, Matza Pizzeria is always good. That's on
I'll try
Melrose and Highland.
Matza, all right, sounds expensive, but I'll give it a try.
Matza. Oh, it's they sell cookbooks. It's expensive.
Okay. Jesus.
It's like the closest I've come to ordering pasta has been from a mac and cheese restaurant on fucking Postmates. That was fine.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden, sure.
If you want cheap pasta that delivers Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory,
there we go.
I thought Fettuccine Alfredo ain't bad.
That tells you how me and Ty live, because Cheesecake Factory to me is a upper tier expensive restaurant. That is like, oh, it's our anniversary. We're going to Cheesecake Factory. And Ty's like, you want to go cheap? Go Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, cheap? It's like $30 from Fredo. It's like, are you kidding me?
You all saw my kitchen in my promo this week. I have a lovely.
That's true. Yeah,
kitchen.
Great countertop.
If you ever need a quick,
shows,
cheap bite at the end of a night, like a quick, cheap, easy something, just swing by the Capitol Grill. Just see
Capitol Grill. Okay, never heard of it.
It's so expensive.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, I got Stouffer's mac and cheese in the freezer.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, microwave, 8 minutes. Good stuff.
Absolutely. My goodness.
Do you know what Ty, do you know what Stouffer's are?
Stouffer's, of course.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean,
They don't sell those at Whole Foods.
Oh man, I can't afford Whole Foods. I can't afford Whole Foods.
This is a character. I had ramen.
Have you ever heard of a lean cuisine? They're sort of like
I had pizza rolls for lunch on Wednesday.
Nice.
The one who doesn't know anything of what we're talking about is probably Boggs, because he's in the UK.
Boggs like that. It was a lean cuisine,
and you lost.
They don't even have ranch.
Cheesecake Factory.
Pasta.
Boggs, what's like the most
like
popular frozen food, like a meal, like something that comes in a tray and you put in the microwave?
I'd probably say like Indian food, or
there's not like a name brand.
No cottage pie.
Well, here we have like Hungry Man. We have Marie Callender's, which is a little step up from Hungry Man, and then like Banquet is like the lowest of the low when it comes to frozen.
79 cents.
Yeah,
pie.
Yeah. Banquet is like Stouffer's is like between Marine Callender's and Hungry Man. It's like an in between. But yeah, so do you guys have stuff like that there?
Yeah, but I'm not that. Like, that's quite in-depth analysis
Yeah.
of frozen foods. I don't know like the name of the brands.
In-depth analysis. It was 3 names, Bob. Oh no.
I don't know names of brands of frozen. Maybe people in the chat can point out.
Good for you. You're gonna live a lot longer than me.
Oh, we need Darren and Drunken Prayer. They're also in the UK. If you guys know any of the brands, let us know in the chat.
This week,
everybody
type
the number of kid cuisines you've had in your life in the chat down below.
Oh yeah, kid cuisine.
I think, Ty, before you go, I think we should have a cheers for August 19th.
Yeah, I do
Yay.
have to.
I'll raise my microphone.
JT and congratulate him on his match.
Congratulations to you, Ty. I can't wait to see how far you go.
Yeah.
I'm hoping multiple more rounds, but
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. So let's say I beat Bibbs real quick, JT. Let's talk
Listen,
about
I beat him.
Before
I beat him. I beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to make it about me, but
I mean, so did Roka and so did Christian. Apparently.
There you go.
So I don't know what this is. I'll have to look into this. But then the winner, if whoever wins, it's either David Del Rio or the winner of the James White Brittany Young match. And nothing against David Del Rio, James White, or Brittany Young, but I've never heard anybody ever say one of those three is like, oh my God, they're the champion this year.
Yeah, for you to go from McWeeny to Bibiani, it feels like Bibiani should have been in that other side.
Right.
That sounds like a tough. You got a much tougher road.
So I mean, I feel like if I beat Bibbs, I'm winning the next round too. So
yeah, your stock's going up, baby. Your stock's gonna go way up if you beat Bibbs. Let me tell you.
Here we, and that leads to Horowitz revenge match. Bateman, who I already have my promo in mind for Bateman, so I'm looking forward to that. Or Griffin Newman, who I will absolutely 100% cower in fear to. I might win, but I will just be like a puddle in that match.
You don't think there's any chance that Paige for Betty might get the W over Ben Bateman?
No, yes, I do think that. Oh wait, you're right, because I totally neglected her. Okay, so that's really interesting. I feel bad because I do think Paige has a chance to beat Ben. I just never thought about me playing Paige, where I've been planning my Ben Bateman promo for 7 months. So
sure. That's fair. That's fair, actually.
Hey, that's your promo.
It's really nothing against Paige, and just me. It's just more about the Google Doc that I have. So.
Hey, if it is Paige, your promo is, I had all this prepared for Ben, and Paige ruined it for me.
I should just
could be your promo.
Just do the same promo. That'd be funny.
I've been smoking a brisket for a whole bunch of Boss Bateman puns, Paige, and now you have to hear them.
Yeah. That'd be funny. All right. Thank you for having me on, and I will sit back and cook my brisket and watch JTE dominate the rest of this chat. JTE again, congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. Right back
Saul,
to you.
Good luck on everyone else. Good luck.
Thank you so much for joining, dude. I hope. Oh, Ty Lieberman. What a legend. What a great. Coming in, knocking down Drew McWeeny. Another legend and another great. And my goodness, do we have an even bigger legend, an even bigger great. And at long last, perhaps you could say it took folks too long this season, but we're starting to hear JTE and Player of the Year get mentioned together in the same sentence. This has been a huge fucking week for you, man. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I was proud of the match I had against Collins. My last few matches, I was behind. It's always nice to be in the driver's seat. I'll be honest, like when it came down to my 5, I was 100%. I was like, when I gave my answer, I was half reaching for my board because I thought we were going to go to sudden death. And when I pulled out the win, I was really excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think Christian seemed to be thinking the same thing. I think that's going to be a big part of it as well. Cause like I've been seeing you and Ty were talking about how a lot of folks had both of you losing your respective matches this past week. And part of why I wound up going into the Facebook group and learning about the greatness that is Sherlock Homo is that I saw also, along with that, a lot of folks saying, oh my gosh, JTE might have just pulled upset of the year. So obviously I did kind of want to ask about that because obviously Adam Collins was like the former singles champion, had a great year last year. But did you feel like there's a bit of a chip on your shoulder because folks were kind of immediately counting you out for one of the latest greatnesses?
Yeah, it's hard because I'm like, how many people do I have to beat to like not be the underdog? Like, how long do I need to be in the league for? How many times do I have to hold the belt? The only time I really felt like, when me and Jeff were on our run with the Patriots, we were definitely favored almost every time after a certain point because people just started. When a lot of people win, you start to not like them. I'm a Patriots fan. I understand the New England Patriots. You don't like them because they win so much. Exactly. So, but then there comes a point where they win so much that you're just like Christian Harloff.
Yeah, awesome. We got to live with these guys.
Christian Harloff is a New York Giants fan, and me being a Patriots fan, we've always argued. I'm like, Tom Brady's the best, the Patriots are the best, and he's like, well, we beat you twice, in the Super Bowl, and he always held that over me. And I'll never forget when Brady won the Atlanta game with the comeback in the fourth quarter. I remember next day Christian being like, okay, they're the best. He's the best. They're the best. Like, even the people who I knew hated the Patriots were just like, okay, they're too good. They're the best. So I felt like that with Jeff. After a while, holding the belts for almost a year, there was like a cycle. People hated us. People didn't really like us from the beginning. Then they hated us, and then eventually they were just like, you know what? These guys are too good. I'm enjoying this run, and that kind of came full circle. And hopefully, as a singles player, I proved a little bit this year that I'm not, someone to be looked over.
Absolutely. And to talk a little bit about why you shouldn't be looked over and the incredibleness that was this match, Saul, I will toss it over to you to break down JTE versus Adam Collins.
Thank you, John. So going into round one, both of you ended even 6-6. Collins missing that Shrek the Third question. Both of you missing Josh Trank, not Justin Trank.
That one killed me, yeah.
And you missing the Drew Barrymore question. But that whole Josh Trank there, I think it's more embarrassing on Adam Collins' side because he wrote Justin, whereas you just didn't have the name at all. Where was your mindset thinking of
it's
you
tough.
obviously knew it.
Yeah, it's tough because sometimes you just blank. There was a match with the Patriots where the answer was – it was on the first round. The answer was Megan Fox, like who starred in Transformers and Jennifer's Body. I know who Megan Fox is. Everybody knows who Megan Fox is. And for some reason, in that moment, my brain just went blank. I used the JTE, and I remember when I used the JTE, Jeff looked at me like, "Really? Like what? This is a layup." But sometimes you just get a brain fart, and I was able to pull Megan Fox that time during that match. This time, for some reason, I just couldn't pull Josh Trank. I don't know why. He's made Capone. He's made what, 2 movies? That and the one with Dehan. What's the
Chronicle.
Chronicle, yeah. So he made Chronicle and Capone.
He made Fantastic Four too, didn't he?
Yeah, it's Fantastic Four.
Sort of.
Like a collaborator with the studio.
So he's not somebody that's been, in Hollywood too much since Fantastic Four, and Capone was kind of like his comeback, but it was not really well received. So, and I actually just never got around to watching it. It was during the pandemic, I think. Yeah. So it was just one of those movies I was never able to catch. So on most days, if you saw me in the street and asked and jumped out of the bushes, we're like, "Who directed Capone?" I would have been like, "Josh Trank." But today I just wasn't able to pull it, and it happens matches sometimes, And once you don't remember, you kind of panic because you're like, "I should know this," and then you're it's just like a hamster wheel in your head. You're like, "What's happening?" And then just sometimes you pull it, sometimes you don't. So.
Well, at least now Dagnino knows that a lot of your training has to be him jumping out of bushes and asking you questions.
Yeah, I like ninja trivia lessons. Come out of nowhere, surprise me, and ask me a question. And that's what helps.
I now need to this needs to be a skit or something where ninja trivia.
Right, next promo.
Yeah, that should be the next promo. But I'm going to throw to Colin. Your thoughts on round one?
Sheesh. I mean, I honestly, I'm more surprised, and this has just been the last 2 years. Like when Adam Collins misses something, you look and you're like, oh, shit, really? Like you kind of don't believe it for a second, just because you got so used to the dude, getting right answers. And this year's been kind of a wake up call where, use whatever metaphor you want. The Russian's been cut, any of that stuff. JT holding court with him. exactly what I expected. I wasn't here last week, so I didn't get my picks, but I definitely picked JTE in my mind when I saw the matchup, just because of what we've seen from Adam Collins and Marisol pulling him out in that teams match a few months ago. And like just JT's experience in general, like very few players would use 2 JT knees in one round, and especially the first round. Mm-hmm. And I even remember Mark saying at some point in the match, we'll see if that comes back to haunt him. And it didn't. It's one of those things that, statistics say that probably usually will come back to haunt you, where you won another one for that 5-pointer. And this was just one of those matches where, holy shit, this is just awesome to watch. And more impressed with just how each player was able to keep their composure. Like JT, you not being rattled that you missed Drew Barrymore, you're like, screw it. Like exactly what Ty was talking about, where Gucci looked at him after round 1 of the Drew McWeeny match and said, oh, you're down 1. That's all it is. You're able to look at yourself and say, it's tied. I'm tied with the former champ. Let's go. This is exactly where I want to be. Other than up, obviously. But like if you said I'm coming out of a round 1 with a former champ, tied, I'm good.
Yeah.
Now going into this round 2, Colin spinning Middle Earth. Were you a little happy that he had Middle Earth? Because I know looking at the previous match with Jeff, he gave Chance Harry Potter because he's like, I want to take that off the wheel for me. So were you a little happy that he took Middle Earth for himself?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth. So like I would definitely take Lord of the Rings over Harry Potter any day of the week. So to not see Harry Potter on there, I felt pretty good. But some of those questions were tough. So, those IG categories, they go a little deeper, I think, than some of the other categories. So it's a risk to take it. And I don't know if I'm guessing he put that on the wheel, because I don't think they put IG slices unless it's requested from the player. So he wanted it, he got it, and you got to, do the consequences. I put Sly and Arnie when I faced Roca in the live match, and it didn't go my way. So sometimes you put a strength on there and it ends up biting you in the ass.
We've seen that with Mark Riley with scores and soundtracks. Sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't.
We just saw with Corruption in the team's title match. They picked him or geeked him. And they were both sitting there kind of looking at each other a couple of times like, holy shit, what is this? Like, sometimes it just bites you.
Sorry, my phone's blowing up.
You're good.
No worries.
Oh, no. Apparently, Lamar Jackson tore his ACL in practice.
You did not just say that.
I'm joking.
You did not. Dude, that's not even. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I need a moment.
Just gave Colin a heart attack.
I need a moment.
This is Colin's last show, and I feel like everybody
literally
is
my
getting
last
a chance to
show,
dunk
and
on
I've
him a
never
little
been
bit.
you like that in my life.
Everyone gets one allotted dunk on Colin.
That's why I didn't keep it going, because I didn't want to destroy your life. So I cut it off quick.
Needs a timeout.
My wrist would have been going. That's where I'm like, hold up. I didn't get my Adam Schefter Twitter notification, so this is not happening.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I was trolling you.
That was good.
That was good. You felt your gut like sink for a second there.
Ooh, somebody record that, because
his astral self just got punched out of his body.
Wow,
it was Dr. Strange right there, just like he was.
All right, my jersey's still there. We're good.
Okay, I could have. As soon as I saw the Baltimore flag behind him, I said, "I'm going to say this at some point."
That's why I love Patriots fans, because there's so much respect from Patriots fans for Ravens fans, because we put up the best fight.
Oh yeah,
anyone.
Dude, Flacco killed us some games, man.
And if it wasn't for Lee Mason dropping a pass and Billy Cundiff missing a field goal, we would have won the Super Bowl.
Baltimore's no joke, man. Belichick always says that Reed is the best, one of the all-time best he's ever seen in his life. So, sorry.
We all loved that. That was the best.
See, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I just I cry in the corner.
Good time.
Yeah, you got a decent team right now. You were better than us last year, so we'll see this year.
We'll see.
And Manchester United is not a football team; they are a soccer team. I don't know.
I agree with that. Manchester United is a football team, and Manchester United is a soccer team.
JT's just going down the line now. He's like, I got something.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get Colin. I'm gonna get Bugs.
Soccer team, frozen foods. I'm writing these down.
Yeah, American football is getting a little bit bigger in London, isn't it? the last couple of years? They've had games.
Yeah. They have that the matches at Wembley, don't they? I don't know what a certain type of match, but it's big sport here.
And there's been huge talk of the Jags moving there too, because Shere Khan, he owns a Premier League team as well. So there's been like huge talk of him bringing the Jags to London if they ever needed to leave the sex trafficking capital of the world.
All right.
There you go.
Cool.
But getting back to more of the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Fine, sports talk.
Sports talk, yeah. You spun Angela Bassett. I just want to talk about the fear that I saw in your eyes for a second when they were like, pronounce the name of the Queen of Wakanda.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna. I'm not even gonna try. I went multiple choice right away. It was also things like, not only pronounce it, but I was like between two names, so I really did need that multiple choice. And then once I was able to hear it, I could just say A, B, C, or D.
Right. You're like, I'm not even going to say the name. Just
not going to go there. Yeah. Don't want to offend any Wakandians out there.
Right. So throwing to Boggs, your thoughts on both round twos?
Yeah, so, a couple of things I want to know, JT. First of all, are you sticking with the JT me thing, or are you just going to go me? For a repeat,
I'll stick with the JT me. I think that works the best.
Yeah. And secondly, just going into the match, obviously, what were your overall thoughts on Collins last year? Obviously, he was like 7-0. Got some massive wins. How when you got the name of you're going to play Collins in this elimination thing, how confident were you? Because obviously he did look awesome last year. This year is you've had so many more matches this year than him. That's what was my feeling going into the match. You way more momentum. You had more singles matches, more teams matches than him. So I just want to know your mindset going in. And did you was it like did you think it was 50-50 going in, or did you seriously think I can beat this guy?
I'll be honest with you. When most time I go in a match, I never really going in overconfident. I think anybody could beat anybody on any given day in this league, especially with the talent that's all around. So I just feel like if you're a good enough player, you're gonna have a fighting chance. So for me going in, I was like, I know Collins is good. I watched him the year before. I was really impressed. He had an amazing run, or debut season. It was unbelievable. He kind of blew the doors off the place. So I was excited because I always want to play the best. There's still a couple players out there I haven't played yet that I feel like I'm overdue to play. I would love a one-on-one with Dan Merle one of these days. Working with Dan.
Chunky Civil War. Let's go.
Yeah, anytime somebody is like, oh, this guy's one of the best or he's the champ, I just want to, throw me in a ring with him. Let's see how I do. Because I really do feel like Dan could beat me on any day and I could beat him on any day. That's why I really feel that way going into every match. The second you start taking people for granted, you lose. Trust me. The second you think you have it in the can, you're probably going to lose that match because you're overconfident or you're just, I don't know what it is. It's some bad mojo. And
also isn't it funny, like the shift in people's mindset now, they're pointing you towards player of the year or comeback player of the year. Do you remember at the start of the season when you were getting not laughed at, but people were annoyed you getting in the free agency, being drafted so high? It's funny how a couple of wins and, you just kind of spin the game on its head.
Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind. I guess people think you leave for a year. It's like, oh, he's no good anymore. It's like, dude, wasn't kicked out of the league. I wasn't like losing left and right and be like, I got to get out of here. I'm ashamed. I just came back and played, to the same level I feel like I was playing before. Just the matches just happened to go my way this time. So I was able to put a couple together and get to this point where I'm close to, a number one contender match. I guess, that's the only thing I can really say is I'm having a good year.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. But it's Saul round 3.
Yeah, going into your round 3, as Collins gets his 2-pointer, you get your 2-pointer. He misses his 3-pointer.
I was shocked by that one,
Yeah. Gets his 5-pointer. You get both your 3 and your 5. The one that we're talking about here is your 5-pointer. Sword in the Stone. You had 1 JTE left because you did use 2 on 1. Where was your mind at? How did you get to Sword in the Stone?
When I first heard animated, I wasn't thrilled. Animated can come back and bite you in the ass. And then listen, I watched all these Disney movies growing up. I wasn't I'm not a crazy Disney fan. But animated is even trickier because you get outside of Disney. Like you get to the Don Bluth films, you get to some of these DreamWorks films. So in some ways, I was like, all right, at least it's not. I honestly would actually take animated over just Disney because I feel like I've watched a lot more animated movies outside of Disney. But the fact is, this was a Disney question. So when they said 1960s Disney, the first thing I'm trying to do is like, what movies came out in the 60s? I'm trying to narrow it down. And I wasn't, I mean, to show you like how bad I am at animated, I was between two films. I was between Sword in the Stone and The Black Cauldron, which actually didn't come out until the 80s.
Yep.
Didn't come out to the 80s, but I was in the moment. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't sure when it came out because the animation style looks like it could be from the 70s or 60s. So those two movies were really the ones I was debating. I just went with the more popular choice, which, you know, sometimes it's usually not the most popular choice. Sometimes it's a little bit more obscure. So I think sometimes you'll get in your own head. Because at first I said Sword and Stone. But I was like, this is a 5-pointer. They're going to make this maybe a little bit deeper of a cut. I was like, The Black Cauldron is a movie that can also fit with these characters, and that would be a much deeper cut. But at the end of the day, it was a coin toss. It was either Black Cauldron or Sword and Stone. I went Sword and Stone. Like I said, I was reaching for that board. I thought we were probably going to sudden death, and I happened to pull it. So it was a great pull for me.
So when they said, and your winner was
woo! I was like, oh, damn, yeah. Like, again, I was reaching for my board, so I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. We did it? Wow. I think, Christian and Mark were just as surprised as I was. We were like, I thought we were all going to sudden death, and I've had good experience in sudden death. I beat Patriots, beat Drew. Rotten Tomatoes. I beat Drew in sudden death. We went 6 questions. So the 2 times I've been in sudden death, I've actually am the player who came up with the winning answer for both scenarios. So I feel pretty comfortable in sudden death. So
and the celebration was great, I felt, as well. You and Gucci. That was like, it puts a smile.
It was genuine excitement, man. Genuine excitement. I knew Collins was going to be favored, and I knew, he was going to be a tough opponent. So anytime you defeat somebody who you really respect as a player, it just feels that much better, honestly.
Drunken Prayer nailed my thought process. He said, I only got it because of Archimedes, which then connected to Merlin, which then connected it to the Sword of the Stone. I was like, who are these people that are kind of real? Yeah.
Wow.
That nerdiness kind of connecting it back. I'd like to point out, though, that it seems like Adam definitely had a flub on the 3-pointer. He was trying to pull the name of the character from Cars 3. And which she's very, I think she's one of the people that works for the car company that Lightning is trying to go in and work with or whatever. And he's trying to pull that, but it's like, no, dude. I'm like, it's Sally Field. Bonnie Hunt.
No, Bonnie Hunt, yeah.
Bonnie Hunt. Sally Field's Bonnie Hunt. I go back.
Again, I'm not great animated, but when I heard the question, I immediately knew it was Bonnie Hunt. And I just fully expected him to say it immediately. So if you watch the video when he's debating, I'm over here like, wait, what? Does he not know this? I was like, what's happening?
The last name, because I don't think you ever hear her last name in the movie except for when she pulls up as the town attorney in Cars 1. Okay. And then she's always just Sally. So if you would have just said who plays Sally in Cars, might have been an easier question. But I think the last name, because I think there were more Latina characters in the third one, and they were even going more worldwide with it. So I think that might have been what joggled them. But it's so weird that that's what it came down to, that. But
sometimes players outthink themselves, man. You overthink it, and I have to tell myself sometimes, don't overthink it. Go with your gut reaction. The first time me and Sneider won the belts, the first time we won the tag team belts, we had the right answer. It was Robert Duvall, and we almost went with a different answer. And I think Jeff said to me, I think it's James. I said I think it's James Caan, and he had Robert Duvall, and I was like, oh, maybe that's right. He's like, who do you think we should go with? And I looked at him and I said, if your gut told you Robert Duvall, go Robert Duvall. And then he took a minute, didn't say the answer, and I was sitting next to him. I wasn't sure which one he was going to say. I was like, I told him to go with his gut, go with Robert Duvall, but I thought there's a chance he might say James Caan. And I remember sitting there and then hearing him say the answer, and then those 5 seconds, which felt like 5 minutes when Christian said we won, it was unbelievable. But again, so even back in the day, I think always go with your gut, because if you can overthink it, you'll be kicking yourself once you lose that match.
Well, you were saying that too with Sword in the Stone and Black Cauldron. You were like, oh, it could be the harder one, but it was Sword in the Stone. So throwing to you, John, any thoughts on round 3, the whole match in general, and any questions for JTE?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only real question to kind of ask is obviously looking forward. There is a chance that you might be playing your former Patriots teammate in Jeff Sneider, but now you know that you are going to be going up against Chance Ellison, who obviously is one of the first players to have gotten back into the live setting. With an incredible performance against Shazam, even though it didn't go his way. So kind of like looking at what you've got coming down the pipeline, is there a part of you that's like disappointed that you're not going to be able to get that JTE versus Sneider Patriots Civil War? Or are you more excited that like you get to be in this live setting where you know you're going to have somebody that's going to take you to the limit?
You know, I mean, I played Jeff once before. I did beat him. So I'd like to have that over him.
There you go.
You know, me and Jeff are friends. I was hanging out with him last night. So I still like to hold that over. So if we don't play again, I don't have to worry about us being tied. So I was glad, you know, again, it comes back down to, like, I think I might have played Chance once in teams. I honestly don't remember. But I might have against him and somebody else. I could be wrong. I honestly don't remember. But I know this. I've never played Chance one-on-one. And just like Collins, I want to play, you know, some of the best players out there. And this is just another player who a lot of people respect. He's had a great year. Like, he's up there with me probably for a chance at Player of the Year or whatever other awards there is. So I'm excited to, you know, settle it in the ring.
There you go. Fair enough. And then to that end as well, another person that I know folks have been tossing out is Ethan Irwin. So are you excited by perhaps getting also a chance to play? Because if you get to play like both other competitors that are in some of the top conversations of Player of the Year, like that's one of the easiest ways to go ahead and cement that legacy. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing Ethan this year when we Rushmore. We TKO'd them, but me and Ethan, we both got perfect rounds in the first round. And we both pulled 2, I think, really hard first round questions. And I was like, yeah, Ethan's the real deal. No doubt about it. I would love to play him. I think, you know, I think our interests align a lot. I think we have similar strengths. So I think if we had a match, I don't know what I would put on the wheel against him. I'm not sure what he'd put on the wheel against me, but I feel like it'd be a very close match.
There you go. And as Jeffrey Kahn points out in the chat, Ethan's only loss this year was to the Exchange. Think about that.
Good point.
Yeah.
We're certainly going to have to. But we're going to go ahead and toss it on over to Saul to read some of these wonderful Discord patron questions. And as a reminder, gang, patreon.com/John Roca. You can come in there to ask some questions, or you could also drop some real quick through a Streamlab or a super chat, depending on how you're feeling. But Saul, let's jump on over to the Discord questions.
Yeah, let's do it. So first we have Drunken Prayer saying, who is the most underrated actor on the planet, and why is it Nick Cage?
Most underrated actor on the planet. That's tough, man. Give me a second. Anybody else got any names to throw out?
I mean, Michael Stuhlbarg only had like the 1 year.
Sturgis fan.
Who?
Jim Sturgis.
Oh, Jim Sturgis. Yeah,
I've been a stan of his. I think Across the Universe is a masterpiece, and 21 is very entertaining.
Michael Showalter is a good answer too.
Yeah, I was like, Michael Stuhlbarg. I might have to co-sign that.
Man, I'm trying. I know there's somebody I say this about, and I'm trying to remember who it is. I think Colin Farrell is actually a really good actor who gets underestimated a little bit. I think he's done a lot of indie films, a lot of like smaller films lately, and I think he's really kind of raised the bar. I thought he was great in Saving Mr. Banks in a supporting role. I think people think of him as SWAT and Total Recall, but he's really done a lot of smaller films. I think he's a really good actor.
He's gonna be a hell of a Penguin.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he doesn't look anything.
He's gonna have 200 million people sitting in theaters. Like, holy shit, is that Colin Farrell?
It's gonna be so interesting to see like how he performs. A lot of actors seem to be doing that. Like Jared Leto in the Gucci trailer. Like that's Jared Leto. Are you kidding me?
I almost didn't recognize him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say Colin Farrell I think is underrated. Just he's done a lot of bigger films.
Paul Dano for sure. Ryan Kramer pointing that one out.
That was good, yeah. I like Paul Dano.
Now we're just naming the Batman actors, and it's good.
Yeah, Ben Foster's great. He was great. Yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
Jon Favreau. Yeah, he's a good supporting actor.
Yeah,
he's not a lead, but yeah, good question. I mean, I wish what kills me is like after we finish the show, I'm gonna think of like 5 more. I'm like, damn it, why not I say that?
Hey, you can write it in the comments.
Yeah.
We had people
Claudia
write in
Dolph,
the
yeah.
comments before when they were like, "Hey, I remembered," so I'm putting it in the comment now.
Scoot, shout out
Yeah.
Scoot, big
Yeah, he was good in Argo. Batman v Superman. I don't know what he's doing in that
the
movie,
show
but I don't blame
Smoke
him.
and Catch Fire that he's on AMC.
Really?
No love. It's him and the guy that played Ronan the Accuser in Guardians. Lee Pace.
Lee Pace.
Pace.
Yeah.
Lee
Him
Pace.
and Lee Pace basically creating the first laptop.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. It starts in like the early 1980s computer revolution with like Lee Pace's Steve Jobs to his Woz, and it's wild. It somehow got 5 seasons at AMC.
No.
Okay.
There you go.
And our next question is from Gift Taylor, saying, "What rookie from this season would have been a perfect fit for season 1 of the Schmoedown?"
Season 1. I'm just trying to go back and remember what season 1 was like. Ty has great character work. I think Ty would be great for season 1 because I think people would attach to him very quickly. I think character work was a little bit bigger back then. And it was, Christian really, made Schmoedown kind of like the wrestling of movie trivia. And I think Ty definitely would have been would have shined brightly from the beginning.
Did you and Tom not walk out in full priest outfits?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, like Brother Lomas would fit in perfectly.
Oh, Lomas would have been fun, yeah.
Lomas
Rager as well.
Tiny studio.
Yeah, Lomas would have been fun. Rager would have been fun too, yeah. I mean,
Rager's too young, right? Like season 1 of the Schmoedown, he would
Rager
have.
would have been like 50, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the Finstock Exchange you look to it like Griffey Nooms. He would have been great as well.
Yeah, we have, Tom says this all the time, Gucci, I think we have some of the best character work and players in the league. And I think it's been proven throughout this year.
There you go.
Going to this next question is from Justin T. What would it mean for you personally, not just your Schmoedown career, if you win the singles championship?
Bragging rights to all my buddies I get to hang out with. I mean, listen,
rub it in Jeff's face.
I get to, last night I had a party. I had a bunch of friends come over. I saw Riley. I saw Tom. I saw, Ben Bateman. I saw, it's just, it's something to be like, hey, I've been, I don't know, because I feel like maybe it's not so much. I would get more respect probably from the fans. I would. Everyone who I know in the Schmoedown, we're all friends, and they all highly respect me as a player. They know like JT's not anyone to be taken lightly. It's like we all have the best rookies or something. Exactly. Well said, Ty. So for me, I guess the biggest thing for me to win belt would maybe just shut up some of these people who keep putting me as underdog and be like, all right, put some respect on that name. Patriots already have all the respect we need. I guess the single player I could get that belt would put a little bit more.
Well, I don't know if that has a lot to do with you, though. I think that has a lot to do with the people who've come into this space and
were watching back then?
That didn't watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I've literally watched since season 1. I say 1.5. I caught up. Season 1 and 2, and like you're on Mount Rushmore for me. Mount Rushmore for me has like 6 people on it. But like, dude, you are one of the original. You are OG as it fucking gets on this thing. So
I would like to think so. I was in the first match ever against.
Yeah, like. What are we talking about?
But it's people new fans come in. They don't maybe go back and watch the old stuff, and that's why I came back this year. I felt like I was gone. The league grew, and everyone was like, "Oh, JTE. Well, yeah, he was okay back then." It's like, what are you talking about? I have to come in here and kick some ass and show everybody
all time.
Yeah, I was like, so that's why it feels good, to have the run I'm having and just kind of, put a little more stock under my name in the Schmoedown annals of history.
And not
Jeremy
just
Miller in the comments also pointing out Doug Benson, definitely a season 1 rookie. Would have come in and smoked up the entire studio.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Well, I completely forgot what I was gonna say because Colin interrupted, but it's fine. You're good. You're good.
That's Soul's calling dunks. Now it's just me that gets mine still in the chamber at some point. I'll figure it out.
Hogs' dunk was making me watch Pirates of the Caribbean this week.
My phone's blowing up again. Baltimore traded for Cam Newton, and we got Lamar Jackson. All right, good to know.
Oh, yeah, I've got that too. Yeah.
You're giving up on Mac Jones so quickly?
Listen, I love Mac Jones. And you know what? I watched the draft where the Patriots could have took Lamar. They didn't take him.
31 teams could have taken Lamar.
I know, and I'm like, what the hell were they thinking? They picked, I think, a tight end.
I'm mad there's not a video of me realizing why we traded up to 32. Because I'm just jumping around my apartment. My girlfriend's like, what the fuck is going on? It's the 32nd pick. Yeah. It's like 11:45 at night here on the East Coast. And then suddenly
Are you on the first floor, Colin? Because if you're
I'm on
like
the third floor.
So you annoyed the hell out of your neighbors.
I'm on the third floor.
I'll say this. I love Mac Jones, what I've seen so far, but if they still called us and said we'll give you Jackson for Cam, I would make that trade in a heartbeat. Let you have Cam Newton.
You can have RG3.
No. All right, sorry. I keep bringing back to football.
I gotta get you on my sports show I got going on. Now we can talk about sports all the time.
There we go. All right, next question.
The last question we have here is from some guy named Sean Barito. I'm not really sure who he is, but he wants to know, what did you do on your birthday?
My actual birthday was Thursday. Because I had a party last night, and like Tom came, like I said, Mark Riley came, a bunch of my friends came. But the actual birthday was real low key. Just stayed home, went to lunch, and then we went and saw the new film, The Night House, with Rebecca Hall. Which I give 2 thumbs up. I think it's a really good psychological horror film that did not make any money this weekend, it looks like, but I would highly recommend checking it out. It's a smart horror movie, and it's really creepy, and it actually keeps you engaged, and it's something you actually talk about afterwards, because it's a little bit open-ended in how you perceive what happens in the movie. So yeah, go check out The Night House. It's playing in theaters right now, or I don't know if it's on video on demand. I think it's only in theaters, but still, if you can safely go to the theater, I say go check it out.
Would a non-horror fan like it? Because I get scared very easily.
I think it's more of a psychological horror than it is like, oh my, it's not like things are jumping out at you. It depends. Like, do you like, this is more about atmosphere, mood. There are a little bit of jump scares, but it's more of like a mystery. I want to not say murder mystery, but it's like a horror mystery, I guess is what I would call it. And Rebecca Hall is fantastic. Like, she's in almost every scene of the movie, and she's fantastic. She carries the movie.
Like, I enjoyed Get Out, and I was willing to watch The Conjuring with my friends, but I really don't go for horror. Like, I will never see it, and no one will ever convince me.
Okay. All right.
I compare horror movies to roller coasters, and I look at somebody and say, "Oh, you don't like roller coasters? Yeah, I don't like horror movies." It's the same thing. My brain just doesn't like being messed around like that.
I don't like frozen foods.
Oh,
there you go. Bringing it around.
Bringing it back. Bangers and mash.
Do we have any patrons to come in?
I think we have 2.
Oh, that's a great question, and I don't know. I think we have at least one. Looks like Canada Rocks might be there, but he's not showing up on screen yet. So, Canada Rocks. How's it going?
Hello. Hey, all right. Congratulations, JT. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I want to say, I don't know if you know this, but it's been 5 years. You probably do, but it's been 5 years since your last title shot. And you were the very first title defense that anyone ever had in the Schmoedown. Riley you were the first one. And I hope you get the title, because that would be just an awesome cap to the year. But are you disappointed you're not playing Jeff in the next round? Or does
No, sorry, my dog's barking. I mentioned this earlier. I'm glad I could keep that one win over him because I still see him every week, and it is kind of nice to play somebody where you could just be like, I want to beat him. Jeff's my friend. Part of me, if I lose to him, I'm just like, oh, okay, I lost to Jeff. I'm okay with that. It's like good for him. So it's nice to go in knowing, no, I just want to win this match because I want to hit that belt, man.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
honestly, you were a comeback player once, I think, and this time I think you would be comeback player, probably player of the year, and a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Excellent.
it.
Thank you so much, Ryko. As we bounce over to it looks like Alan Smithy is next up in the queue. So Alan Smithy, come on down. What is your question?
Hey, what's up, JTE? How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Nice shirt.
That's right. Booyah.
What's the hat? What's the hat say? Raiders?
Oh, you kidding? I directed that movie. Come on, don't you remember?
Oh, you did the fan one?
Yeah, well, you know, Spielberg just pays me to direct his movies on the side.
Oh, anyway. Okay, cool.
But hey, congratulations! It was fun watching. Well, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack off of that whole thing. I'll just say it was fun to watch you live at Cantina the other day. It was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Get into some insider action. I had a question though, and you might have already like discussed this in the past, but once I was on Twitter and I saw something that made me literally crap my pants with joy. And it was you in that Nobody trailer thing. What the hell was up with that? That was badass.
Yeah, that was me and Craig, the Barbarian. Yeah, Christian just called us, and you know, he's still Schmoedown still was a movie show. This is movie trivia, and they have different kind of promotions. And they had a thing where they were like, "Hey, who wants to come down here and do like a stunt work and like do a scene?" I live like 5 minutes from Universal Studios, so Christian called me. He's like, "I think you and Craig should do it," and I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." I'm unemployed at the moment. Let's do it. I was like, I got nothing going on a Thursday afternoon. I'll go do some Mr. Nobody. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, great. I've been watching action movies like my whole life, so I felt like I was prepared to do. I was like improvising, like moves and like movements. I was trying to put a little Bruce Lee in there. I had a pan and I hit him, and I just
I
was having a lot
flair to it,
I was having a lot of fun of it. Did you watch me in that and think I should put this guy in a movie, action movie? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, basically. You and Barbarian, like Tango and Cash remake, I'm thinking.
I love it.
Yeah. But Elvis will still be in it, So
Isn't the Barbarian in that Sherlock movie? What's it called?
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes.
That's the one, yeah.
Bob just didn't want to say it. He wanted to.
I don't recognize it.
He gets other people to say it. But
thank you so much, Alan Smithy, for the wonderful comment, and again for casting.
Do you eat smoking backyard barbecue Hungry Man meal?
No, I've graduated from Hungry Man to Marine Calendars.
Okay.
For me, if I'm really broke, if I'm really seeing some bad times, then I'll reach for the Hungry Man. Right. But I've reached that point in life where I could take that next step higher and hit Marine Calendars.
There you go.
Marine Calendars chicken pot pie.
Well, I'm going to get one and FedEx it to Boggs so he can check it out. But
all right,
there you go. That's going to cost like $60.
I think
FedEx Boggs 10 banquet chicken pot pies. Like, this was my childhood.
Scary thing is it'd probably still be edible once it got there.
100%.
Yeah, truly.
As long as you keep it frozen, it'll be good.
There's no actual food in there, I'm pretty sure.
Well, let's bounce on over to our third and final patron, Drunken Prayer. How's it going? What is your question for the great JTE?
Oh, sorry, I'm still laughing from the Hungry Man comment. Sorry about that.
Oh, sure. Fair.
I need this guy to, give me a couple Braveheart quotes. Just a couple Braveheart quotes. You have a Braveheart?
I refuse to yell freedom at the top of my lungs.
Yeah. All right, say it. Always loved you. Always have.
Always loved you.
Always have.
Yeah, close enough.
Good enough. All right. Braveheart's one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
sure.
Where are you from? I'm sorry, I don't even know exactly where you're from.
No, actually Scotland, just outside
Perfect.
Glasgow.
Do you now? I need to ask you a question. Is the reputation of that movie is it looked down upon there, or is it amazing?
Everyone loves it, even though
even
though it's 100% historically inaccurate.
Yeah. I know that.
There's basically 2 parts of that I think actually happened.
What about Rob Roy?
I've never actually seen that.
Liam Neeson, Tim Roth, really? Jessica Lange?
I know. I feel like I should have seen it. They made a sequel to Braveheart. They made a Braveheart 2, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh.
Not good.
No, not good.
Yeah. All right, sorry. I took over the interview. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I'm quite happy to answer your questions. First of all, big fan. Thank you since the Screen Junkies days.
Oh, thank you,
nice
man.
To meet you finally. And first of all, it's not soccer, it's football.
Good man. Thank you.
Yeah, but you Americans stole everything from us. You got New York, named after York. You get New Orleans. I'm sure there's an Orleans
No,
somewhere.
no, it is football. It's just spelled F-U with an accent, T-B-O-L. That's the way it's spelled.
I always think of So I Married an Axe Murderer, where he's like, Scottish have their own martial arts. It's called "fuck you."
The Irish have shinty, which has got to be the most hockey-based game on the planet.
Oh man.
Yeah, you go watch that. It's like they're just smacking like hockey pucks about on green grass, and standing in the audience going,
I'll have to YouTube it.
But also to the people who like say that football is not a good name, the fuck else are we gonna call it? I can't come up with a better name than football for American football. I got nothing else. Like it's like what? Like pigskin toss? Like
there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
the Pigskin Toss Association.
Could you call it handball? Because you use the hands more, I guess.
I mean, handball is a sport, though. It's an Olympic sport.
We just start calling it cricket. I vote.
There you go. You can take the name of the shitty sport. Yeah, that's fine.
There you go.
I mean, I still don't. I'm a baseball fan. I still don't understand the rules of cricket. I've looked it up. I still don't get it.
We'll just call it knifey spoony or whatever.
They're off the two good ones. Toss ball, throw ball, and pass ball.
Goodness gracious.
Again,
this has gone completely off the rails.
Sorry, Colin. Go ahead. You got a question? My bad.
I did actually, yeah. To circle back to the Nicolas Cage thing. What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Performance-wise, probably Adaptation from Spike Jonze. I think that's a beautiful film. It's a great meta film. I think he plays twins and it's convincing. And there's a scene towards the end which I think is like just one of the best scenes Nicolas Cage has ever acted in. I loved Pig this past year, by the way, too. Pig was fantastic.
I want to see it.
Just for entertainment, probably Face Off or The Rock, and to a lesser extent, Con Air. Yeah. I can watch any three of those movies at any time of the day, any day. Like I just think they're so much fun. Like The Rock's hysterical. Con Air is just, it's so much fun. It's so fun. But Face Off, I remember watching Face Off in theaters. Like I must have seen it like 4 or 5 times in theaters when it came out. I was a kid. And Nicolas Cage was just on another. He was operating at another level than anybody else. Castor Troy was just amazing. Yeah, his character is so over the top. I love it.
Pretty sure he actually took that cocaine in that movie.
Oh yeah, he was doing all the cocaine at that point. I'm pretty sure.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for the question, Drunken Prayer.
And before I go, can I say something, Colin? We're gonna miss you, bud. Sorry, this is your final show.
All of you.
Oh, it's your final show? What happened?
You're very much allowed to say
my
that.
job is becoming more demanding. I work for a college sports team, so I have to be everywhere every day of the week.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, congrats.
But yeah, bud, we'll miss you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, I'll be here. I'll be in the Discord.
There you go. Well, God bless you. And JTE, that's true. And JTE, thank you so much for spending a whole dang hour and some change with us here tonight. And thank you so much for the incredible, great performance in that wonderful Adam Collins match. We're so excited to see what you've got in store for Chance Ellison. Are there any final words and plugs that you want to leave the Schmoedown world with?
I don't know. Just follow me on Twitter, I guess, mainly JT Movie Thinks. And I'm looking forward to the next match. And, I'm really the goal, I think, our whole faction this year is to get the Finstock Exchange to win not just the belts, but the faction of the year. We want the most points. And I think we still have a really good shot doing that by the end of the year. We got a lot of good guys in the tournament. We have a chance at some belts. We're looking good.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for spending some of your birthday weekend with us, man. We really do appreciate that. And we hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, man.
Oh, God bless JTE. Well, here's the thing, gang. We just have done a 2-hour show, but we have 3 other matches to be talking about right now. So we're going to have to do these final 3 recaps at hyper speed. So I hope y'all strap in because we're going to start talking very quickly. Starting with me, as I very quickly go over Liz Shannon Miller versus David Del Rio. As it turns out, not too much to say because it was a really even-paced match for the most part. Both competitors coming out with 6 points at the end of round 1, largely because they both missed the Talladega Nights quote. And, Talladega Nights, that's one of those movies where I love it, but also I'm not going to ever defend it against people who make jokes about it because the Talladega Nights crew, they kind of deserve it to a certain degree. Sure, that's true. But neither competitor was first nor last coming out of round 2 either, and that's a great segue. Del Rio getting a 7 out of possible 8 points with Amy Adams. Talladega Nights coming back, and he was able to nail it that second time around. Meanwhile, Liz Shannon Miller got the 2000s as her category, also 7 out of a possible 8 points, which meant that it was 13-13 coming out of round 2, and ultimately pressure wound up on Liz with that final 5-pointer of the Wreck-It Ralph arcade owner voice actor, which, by golly, that's a humdinger of a 5-pointer. Again, some of these Pixar voice actors, especially of some of the lesser characters, sometimes those can just nip you in the bud. And Liz Shannon Miller, great player, upset kind of player in last year's tournament. Unfortunately, though, this year was not her year in the singles tournament. David Del Rio finally getting a win under his belt. You love to see it for such a great guy who's been kind of taking loss after loss, getting juggled between different factions. So it's nice to see him and the Dungeon get themselves a win. I'll start with Boggs. Any thoughts you have on this match before we take it to the next one?
Just briefly, nice to see PJ and Ken on the desk. I was a bit of a change up of characters there. Just Del Rio, super impressive. I was just majorly impressed with him, how well he done. I still don't know to this day why he got dropped from the den and picked up by someone else. Maybe someone in the chat can update me. Kaiser picked him up the next day, so I don't know if he had an agreement there with Kaiser. I don't know, but it seems like a bit of a confusing one there. But I'll never know. But shout out to Witt as well, who managed the heck out of the match. So fantastic performance. And Logan says there in the chat, Liz has been on a bit of an unlucky run, I guess, in singles at the minute, but she's got a tough teams match, so she needs to step back up for that number 1 contender match. So to her.
I will say certainly Liz has been tearing it up in teams, so I hope she's not feeling too down on herself. And as for the den drop and David Del Rio, if I had to guess, part of it was they wanted that second Star Wars player, since they were looking at another Star Wars tournament coming down the pipeline, and obviously there's a good chance Thomas Harper might be the Star Wars champion. Saul, any thoughts on this match?
I just appreciate that there wasn't just one, but 2 Talladega Nights questions in here. And I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
There you go. That's a quote from the film. As we bounce it on over to Colin, are there any final thoughts you have on this match before you recap the next one on the docket?
Yeah, if you don't chew Big Red, then you.
Well, if you don't send us a Streamlab and a Super Chat or join the Patreon, then please reconsider. I'm not going to tell our audience to F themselves. I was too mean last week. Can't do it again this week.
I can say whatever I want. It's fine.
There you go. Fair enough. And Colin, speaking of saying whatever you want, say whatever you want about the next match, which is
awesome.
Brandon Hanna versus Saul.
Oh, nothing else I like to close out my career on this show than talking about Brandon Hanna losing a match in the Schmoedown. Saul versus Brandon Hanna, round 1. Hanna cannot pull I Frankenstein. Shocker. Both missed the Age of Extinction quote. That's a shitty movie, so no problems there. Both missed Age of Ultron, 0 nominations. Saul missing the number of 10 unicorn models. Come on, bro. Get on that. 7-7 after round 1. Over to round 2. Saul spun off of Mixed Bag. That category is terrible. On to Spider-Man, a category about a dude who shoots webs. Missing the Amazing Spider-Man mom multiple question. Hanna did not steal. Missed the Into the Spider-Verse quote question. Guess what? Hanna did not steal. 6 out of 10 possible points. Getting 3 steals off of Hanna, who spins off of DC onto scores and soundtracks. Missed the Punisher song multiple choice. Saul stole that. Missed the Star Trek Superman question. Saul stole that, but not before there was a challenge issued and all this other stuff goes through. But guess what? Challenge doesn't matter. 5 out of 10 possible points, leaving it 16-12 after round 2. Into round 3, Hanna hits his Johnny Knoxville Leonardo question. That's a layup at this point in this category. Hanna misses his Catwoman cosmetic department, even though that's the same answer I chose, Brandon, so can't fault you there. And then misses the Squeaks question. Cannot blame you for another shitty Transformers movie. But that leaves Saul with the win. Was it 16-14? Cool. End of that. Saul, I'll throw it over to you to ask you a question about Saul. How did you feel about Saul,
Good job differentiating between our names there. I'm really proud of you.
English. I do it well.
But I just want to give props to Saul in round 2. He didn't do as well as he wanted to with Spider-Man, but he got all those steals in scores and soundtracks. So that's basically what you want to do, is you want to get those steals when it's available. Leaving those points on the board is never a good thing. So the fact that he was able to come out of round 2 being up, that led to the TKO. So congrats, Saul.
Congrats to Saul, but a not so shocking performance from Brandon Hanna. Boggs, I'm going to throw it over to you. What does Brandon Hanna have to do to prove himself worthy in this division?
Not sure, really. I just felt like Saul needed it more after that Amaru match, because it was like a weird energy he had that game, and I just felt he was not himself. I don't know. Maybe he was tired. I don't know. It just seemed like a weird version of Saul, and I don't think he played to the best of his ability. And just going in, he just seemed more locked in. But Hanna did have a few chances to win the match. He did miss that steal that Saul didn't get in round 2, and just he obviously had that challenge. If he went multiple choice, maybe would have got it, that kind of thing. So it was just I think he's a lucky. I think you're being a little bit harsh on Hanna. I do like him as a player. So he can beat a lot of people. I think Saul's on an upwards trajectory at the minute, and because he wants some redemption. But overall, Hanna's he'll be back. He's better than you're giving him credit for, I think.
I know, but I just got to see it. Like, if you're good, show me.
I mean, listen,
he's got to look for you.
He's the one person I've ridden on this show harder than anyone else. So
we can't get too mad at Colin ragging on Hanna, because I'm about to rag on Jeff Sneider. That's coming down.
Yeah.
I will say, certainly, I definitely give Brandon Hanna some credit at, far as hanging in there as best as he could. But yeah, I think we just had to have remembered that Brandon Hanna's got a bad record going against dudes that he previously beat, considering that he wound up being, I think, 1-2 against Chandru when all was said and done there. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know where Hanna will wind up next season, but hopefully this match is one that he can kind of take back to the drawing board and figure out what's next to do. And then Saul, he's just got to figure out if that prep method that he used for this match is right in the lane of what he needs, because that's another TKO, but he's going to be facing down somebody tough, whether it be Chance or Moose, Colin.
I was panicking for Saul's internet as well, because I think he changed location like 3 times. I thought, are they going to abandon this, or it was. Yeah,
Smithy just pointed out apparently Saul's internet was a problem, so much to the point that it took so long that he almost might have had to forfeit the match. So luckily it got fixed for sure, because he came out and got the dub.
And that happened last time he played Brandon Hanna as well. His internet wasn't working. He almost had to forfeit that game as well. So Saul, get yourself some internet, dude.
Or just don't go outside.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Just stay inside. Outside's bad right now. Don't go outside. Stay inside, guys. John Barr, you want to? I've honestly, since I saw what happened in this match we're about to talk about, there's been nothing in the world that I've wanted to see more than what John Barr has to say about Jeff Sneider versus Chance Ellison.
I mean, listen, I like to give people credit where they're due. And in those first 2 rounds, Jeff was looking polished. I don't want to give him too much crap for those 2 rounds, right? Obviously, when it came out of round 1, Chance and Jeff both missed the same question, right? It was still 7-7, still could have been anybody's game. Then we get to round 2, Chance winding up with an inner geekdom category. Managed to do pretty well, a 6 out of a possible 8 points. Not what you love to see from an inner geekdom competitor, especially somebody who's in the inner geekdom tournament. But not bad, only letting 1 steal go. And Sneider, he knew probably Sneider was not going to steal it, and that's why he went for the full 2-point answer, didn't check down. And so in that regard, that kind of worked with him. But then Sneider getting the strength in thrillers, getting an 8 out of possible 8 points. So it was 15-13 coming out of round 2. Things were looking good for Sneider. Then he just had a complete and utter meltdown in round 3. This was very much the kind of thing where Shannon kind of put it aptly, where she was like, if Roxy's not here, Jeff is going to lose. And that's kind of what we saw, especially considering that one of Jeff's last performances was his match against Merle, where he just had his weird little walkout just randomly during his post-game match, where he was just like, I'm glad somebody was trying. Well, Sneider, try harder to keep your composure in round 3 is all I have to say really about that. It was bouncing back and forth pretty evenly with Ellison making the first slip with that Saving Private Ryan supporting cast, which, to be fair, they were pulling some of the harder names. That Nathan Fillion. Folks might not necessarily remember that compared to like Vin Diesel. I don't know. But then Chance got his Denzel Washington cry freedom question, and that was the start. That was the beginning of the end for Sneider, getting very in his feelings about that 5-pointer. And then Jeff didn't really recover from that. He made what I thought was a fair guess with Red Sonja for that 3-pointer, that Arnold Schwarzenegger question. But then the 5-pointer, the I Still Believe. I'm not going to fault Jeff for not remembering that movie because it was a bad movie. But like immediately the dude got so in his feelings, getting completely bleep. We don't know what he said, but it can have been good considering that we just got a full like 30 seconds of bleep. It was not a good look for Jeffrey. And especially even worse of a look when I think, Saul, you brought it to our attention, whether it was like through the Reddit or through the Facebook. I don't know how you found this information.
Through Ryko.
Oh, this is Ryko.
Canada Rocks,
to a patron.
The researcher of our crew. Jeff fully covered this movie. Fully covered it, fully knew about it. And again, there's a lot of crap movies you have to cover as like a reviewer. I get it. But like, again, this was a new release. There's only been so many of those over the past year and a half or so. So this was just a bad look for Jeff, especially considering that like he only had so many matches this year. The fact that his season ended on such a dour note of dude getting like so wrapped up in his feelings. Like, it was just a bad showing, in my opinion. Now, Boggs, I'll toss it on over to you, because I know you love Jeff, and I know you probably don't like it very much when I get very passionate about how I don't think he's very good. So I want to make sure we have a little bit of equal time. What were your thoughts on this match? Because I know you also love Chance.
Give me that mic, John. Give me that mic. No, I'm just kidding. 3 things, like quick things I want to say. First of all, I knew from the promos that the match was over. So in the promos, no kind of promo cut from Roxy or Jeff. Obviously, they must be busy, work, whatever. I think she was filming a movie, if I saw correctly on Twitter. Yeah. But what I will say is, compared to Corruption, Chance doing a great promo, Shannon doing a great promo, they just look like, I mean, just objectively looking at it, it looks like Corruption wanted it more than the Stars. Just looking at the match, I just felt for a number 1 contender match, elimination match, with everything at stake, the Stars are desperate for points. It's the best player playing, big match. I think they just needed to I just noticed little things like that. And then I didn't even know Roxy was out until the end of round 1. I think I must have missed it if they mentioned it. End of round 1, and it's just him. Him doing the whole giving Chance the Wizarding World. Yeah, it kind of worked because Chance didn't get a perfect round. But would Roxy let you have done that? Like giving someone their strength? He probably put that on the wheel, right? So is that the smartest thing to do? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. But and just at the end, just to confirm, John, Red Sonja was a correct answer. He guessed Conan the Barbarian.
It was Red Sonja was the correct answer. He guessed Conan. You are correct.
Yeah. And just ending the match, this I do love my controversy. I kind of wish we saw everything instead of the everything they edited out. So I'm not gonna lie, I did for the pure entertainment. Yeah, exactly. How much did you have to chronic. I'll pay for that footage. But I will say, to be fair to Jeff, I will say that I think there's a point in there somewhere where asking someone from a minority or a different background when they are not of that religion, I think that there's a potential, there's some kind of point there that I kind of understand. But like you said, he has covered it. It is a new release, so I'm not totally with him, but I do hear, like, I would if I was asked that question in a match, I think I would be, I'm not American, I'm not Christian. Like, I think that I would have an issue with that. So I do hear his points. So I'm not totally dismissing that. But it like you said, it seemed like he covered it, for Collider. So it is a bit funny. But something like a minority being asked a question when they're not of that religion, I do hear that. I'm not totally dismissing that as a point, but I think so many little interesting things in this match. So yeah.
I think there's like a weird thing with this particular, we describe it as a faith-based film. It's really a biographical film on someone who's an artist who just happens to be a faith-based artist. So it's weird because it is a film distributed by Lionsgate, I cannot name another film as somebody from the Deep South that had probably had this much backing from a major studio. So it was probably the biggest pushed release. And then I did pull up Jeff's article. He didn't watch the movie. I'm reading this. It is an article not stating that it is not a review of the film. Okay. This is like an article about it getting an early release on VOD. And so there's very few words in this article that are actually Jeff's. A lot of it is quotes from people involved with the film. But I think what points out his words that really stick out to me say, I still believe received an A cinema score from audiences and has a 98% score on Rotten Tomatoes. So while faith-based films may not be my cup of tea, many others find great comfort in them, and it may be just the film some people need right now, given these trying times. So I think that it was not a review. It was kind of like, hey, this thing got thrown across. So it wasn't like he actually had to sit there and dive into it, but it was a bigger release.
Let me give one example that I've never seen anyone address, that I noticed something that I believe it was Chanju's match, the studio match against Smets, right? He was asked the question, who played the Shadow in the Shadow, right? So obviously he was given a list of movies in Inner Geekdom, right? It would have been on that list. He could have checked the IMDb. He didn't get that. I think it was his 2 or 3 point question. He didn't get it, right? I knew he wouldn't get that straight away because I was pretty confident the Shadow was never released in India. Okay, he's born in India. He's not from the US. English isn't his first language. I did check the release date. The Shadow was never released in India. Okay, so something like that is what I mean. Is like something that I don't think, like, I don't know. I just think that maybe that should have been checked. Like, of all the movies you could have asked him, you're asking a movie from that was never released in the country of his origin. Like, I just think that should be, that's the point that I saw the same kind of thing here. Like, he's a minority, should have maybe, there's some point there. Well, but anyway, that was my overall point.
Yeah, and I mean, that gets into more complicated things, though, of like how long somebody has been in America. Like, if he's actually,
I'm just saying, like, check. If someone's from a different background, minority, just like,
it's
against the questions.
And I will go, like, I see both sides of it because it's really funny that he wrote something. And I read the article too, and I was like, he didn't watch this movie, but he wrote an article about it. So it's somewhere there in the back of his mind that this movie exists because he wrote about it. So I found that really funny. But when he said too in the you're asking a Jew a Christian movie, I kind of was just like, if I was playing along, I'd be like, yeah, this is a little weird. But the way he reacted about it is what I didn't like in there. But I think he had a little bit of a valid argument in the sense of, he's being asked to. I think that unless it's something like The Passion of the Christ or something like that, where it's a big, huge movie that everyone knows about, regardless of what religious background you have, if it's a small movie, barely made any box office, obviously because of COVID, but I don't think it would have made much box office even without COVID, has a lot of nobody actors or people that have been, like, I checked like the IMDb, the people in, like, the person that they said the biggest thing he was in was Riverdale, but he had like 5 maybe credits to his name. So it's not like a known person. So I think there's an argument to be made. I just don't like the way Jeff presented himself.
Because I think that's different, like, because it's a new release, right? That was the category. It's not like it was some other category, because I think that's different, where, like, we can say for Inner Geekdom, players have the movies. Folks, there's not a list of singles movies that they have to do. It's called IMDb. So I think that's where also, like, there's no, like, list of new release movies. You just have to be able to make that subtle recall. And that's always been the thing that I've hammered, Sneider in as being one of the best, like, quick pull new release guys, because it's his job. So that was the big shock to me. It was like,
one of the writers did comment that because of 2020 and COVID, they did send out a list that counts under new release, but nothing else. So they do have that list. So again, something
my point is retracted, Saul. He should have known the answer.
So kind of to like what Bog said about the Shadow with Chanju, he has that list. It's there, but it is something that can be discussed in a way, but it needs to be, like, again, the reaction that Jeff had, not the best in the world.
Listen, we're talking about a lot of heavy topics, a lot of things that extend much further than movie trivia. So, like, I think it's fair to just kind of put a bow on this by saying at the end of the day, Jeff melts down in round 3s regardless of the movie, and none of us saw I Still Believe, so we can't really say too much about it vindictively because none of us have seen it.
Though.
Yeah, I have as well.
It bought hella airtime in the South.
We had a whole conversation before the stream about the fucking faith-based movie about the This Is Us actress whose son got frozen in a lake that I saw multiple times and also couldn't tell you the title of. But what we do have to talk about, what we must talk about, is our current standings in our picks for the week. We have 6 dang matches to talk about. But before we do that, Mike, God bless you, coming on air, our wonderful producer, we have a couple of Streamlabs to read out, don't we?
We do, and I wanted to read these myself. First of all, shout out to Canada Rocks, Alan Smithy, and Jason Earhart, who sent all these in. I do want to say, you know, Colin, you were one of the guys who started this show. You know, we're gonna miss having you on here. Obviously, it's been such a ride from where we started to where we're at now. And all 3 of these Streamlabs specifically are for Colin. Canada Rocks wanted to say, we will miss you, Colin. Alan Smithy saying, thanks for letting me hang. Ultimate Schmoes, we'll miss you, Colin. Peace. And Jason Earhart saying, good luck, Colin. I agree with you that Brandon Hanna is horrible. If you talk smack and lose, then you can't talk smack.
Boom.
So all the love in the world to you, man, as you go do your career things. And it'll be great to no longer have you in the standings, so I can finally gain some traction on everybody. So.
Good luck, bro. I could blind pick and you wouldn't catch up, Mike.
No,
I will send me the picks. I will blind pick.
We'll get into that later. But first off, Saul, let's read off what the standings look like at the moment.
All right, in last place, we have Mike with 11 points, Colin with 50 points.
Shit. Sorry.
John with 53. Myself with 65, Sean with 68, and this guy named Boggs, he has 76.
That's right. As we now
you have
talk,
an 8-point lead.
Sean T's messing.
You could take a week off finally and not take a loss. Like you could take next week off and still at most be up 2.
Right.
So here's the thing, and as we talk about, because we have 6 matches we got to call. Let's be honest, gang. I am still in last, realistically, because both Colin and Mike have missed truly so many matches to call. I'm still realistically in last, so I know I can't put faith in my picks. So Colin, for your final week, I'm going to just say you get to pick what my official picks are for the week.
And that's the way we're going to do it. The rest of the season, you can just send me a text. I don't give a shit.
Well, let's start off with this first match, Final Exam versus Lightning Time. This one's going to be intense. Obviously, Paulo Yamalan Harris. Final Exam not doing as hot this year, kind of a little hot and cold. Meanwhile, Lightning Time, it feels like, has been on a specific tear as of late. I know my personal feelings are I think Lightning Time has got the momentum. I think the Suspects have the momentum, especially over Swag. So I would probably pick Lightning Time. But Colin, what is going to be my official pick for this match?
Paulo Yama and Lon Harris are going to win. Final Exam. Let's go.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, hey, listen, I probably would have been wrong anyway. There we go. Saul, what about you?
I really need to say the 4 words that I'm about to say?
Please do.
Just to hear it.
Swag, swag, drip, drip.
Drip, drip.
There you go.
I know Boggs enjoys it every time I say it.
Boggs, what about you, dear sir?
I'll also say swag, swag, drip, drip. You know, I can't like envision Irwin beating a Yama 3 times in like quite close.
That's it.
Like within a couple of months. Like surely a Yama, come on, like, you know, get 1 win back there. So I do think they're the slightly underdogs based on form and stuff, but I'm going for Final Exam.
Goodness gracious me. How about that? And Mike, what do you have?
Well, to quote one of the great visionaries of our time, swag, swag, drip, drip. Final Exam, baby.
Wow,
and,
how about
Sean
that?
also has Final Exam, so it's a clean sweep, baby.
Holy shit!
How about that? I already committed to Colin making my pick, so yeah, fuck it. I'm the only one rooting for Lightning Time, but I'm hardcore committed to Final Exam. So that's
John, can you say swag, swag, drip, drip, please?
A swag, drip, of course,
Thank
of course. As we move on to Moose Haas of the Finstock Exchange, going up against Chance Ellison of KOrruption. This one's going to be tough. I feel like, Chance obviously tore up the Inner Geekdom tournament last year, but also we just saw him have a little bit of a tough time in a Wizarding World round. I don't know, and this is one where I'm very glad I have Colin here to make the call for me. Colin, who do you think is going to be winning this match? Especially that it's live.
Who's Chance playing?
It's Moose Haas.
I don't have any glasses, but I'm putting on glasses.
Okay.
Chance.
I see. There we go. All right. Colin has committed me to Chance Ellison. Boggs, who do you have winning this match?
Chance Ellison, straight up. Yeah, so this was a studio match. Right? I think they're going to drop a match on Tuesday. I saw as well this week, so it'll be like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday. So,
Gotcha.
crazy one. But yeah, Chance.
There we go, Mike. How about you?
Chance Ellison.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
There we go. And Saul, are we about to have a clean sweep once again? We are. Look at that. We know. Everybody knows.
Wait, no,
Hey,
everybody
Sean,
do it. Everybody
Sean
do it.
also.
Let's send this clip.
Sean also.
Let's send this.
That's for you, Chance.
Let's go. Goodness gracious. And you said Sean also has Chance Ellison?
Another.
2 clean sweeps.
There we go.
It's like the first round of the NBA playoffs in this bit.
Let's see if we get a third, because we have Paul Oyama, just the aforementioned, of Swag Drip Drip. Of course, going up against Nick Harley of the Stars, the recent FCL champion who just got drafted up, going up against the former singles champion back in 2019. Let's start this one off with Mike. Who do you have winning this match?
Oh, man. I got to go with Nick Harley, man. I got to go with Nick. Yeah, I'm betting against Paul.
Goodness
gracious. Where I
heard a tumbleweed go by.
Yeah. R.I.P. Mike. It's fine. F in the chat.
Oof.
But no, I'm liking Nick for this one, man.
I mean, I get it. Obviously, Paul has been hitting some hits and some misses this season. I still think that his singles season so far this year has been quite stellar. Mm-hmm. So I know I would probably be picking him, but also obviously Nick Harley, there is a chance he could be the Adam Collins of this year. Just come in, make a name for himself, beating a champion like Adam did against John Roca. It could
has tape though. Nick has 2 or 3 months of tape of him whooping people.
Yeah.
Well,
Nick is fierce and he's got fire in his pants right now.
Well, to that end, Colin, what's going to be my pick? What do we think?
Yama!
There we go. Excellent. That's a swag, drip, drip. Soul, is the swag, drip, drip train going to continue?
Swag, drip.
Let her finish.
Drip.
There we go. All right. That's another pick for Paul Oyama. And Boggs, how about you?
For sure. Swag. As that great philosopher said. Swag, drip, drip. But I will say, again, something I can't envision, someone making their singles debut beating Oyama. That'll be a big shock for me. So yeah, definitely Oyama. I'm going for.
There we go. Fair enough. As we move on over to another match in this singles tournament, Jacoby Bancroft of the Stars having a little bit of trouble, but Jacoby been looking good so far this season. He's going up against Brendan Meyer, who did take a loss to Chance earlier in singles, but has also been part of this monstrous 51-50 defending Shazam team. This one's going to be tough. Colin, what is my pick / what are your thoughts?
It's the kid. The kid is arguably one of the, he might be the most underrated player in the Schmoedown right now because of his lack of singles, stardom. He is only there, and for lack of a better word, under the beast shadow, Bibbs is the bigger player, in the terms of the Schmoedown sphere. And I don't think Brendan gets enough credit. Let the dude ride, let him go. Let him loose. Let's do it. Let's go the kid.
Fair enough. That's one vote for the kid, and I think that's a fair choice. Soul, who do you have?
I'm going with the young tenderoni himself, Brendan the Kid Myers.
That's right. Fine young tenderoni. Ty Lieberman's going to be cooking him up before a match. Boggs, that's a reference to pasta. Boggs, who do you have winning the match?
I am going for Jacoby Bancroft. Yeah, I just think, over 3 rounds, he's quite strong. Obviously, he didn't beat Griffin Nooms, but I don't know. It's a bit of a pick 'em because, like I say, he looks really strong. Both of them do over 3 rounds, but something's telling me pick Jacoby.
There you go. Fair enough. And Mike, how about you?
Ravioli, give me the tenderoni. I'm going with Brendan Meyer on this one.
SpaghettiOs. That's another reference to pasta. As we get on over now to our title match. Actually, no. Let's not talk about that one yet. I changed my mind. Chance Ellison, this time in singles, going up against JTE. We were just talking about this one. My gut instinct would be JTE, just based on what we've been seeing and what the momentum seems to be going with. But I don't have to make this call this week. Colin does. So Colin, Chance versus JTE. What are we putting on the books?
Holy shit.
Colin's a whole mood right now.
What a hard choice. Like an OG GOAT versus like the modern day version of JTE. Like Chance is the dude that comes up and just fucks shit up because that's his motive. Like he comes in and he's a disruptor. JTE is a disruptor. 2 disruptors. These are 2 negatives, but usually they equal a positive. So that means we're going to get a good match. I think the answer to this question is Chance Ellison.
There we go. That's vote
that really
for Chance.
Hurts to say.
Just capture the pain in Colin's eyes as you just see something break.
Pinpoint the moment his heart rips in half.
There. Boggs, who do you have winning this match?
Swag. No, I'm just playing. I don't know, man. Like Colin's right. It's so hard. Like they're both playing great. I guess I'll go with Chance, but I don't know. Why are you asking me? I have no clue.
It's almost. I'm asking you because you're winning. God damn it! If you don't know, none of us will. That's the problem.
Chance. I'm a genius.
Let's say Chance. I don't know. Either way, that's a great match.
Fair enough. Mike, who do you have?
I had to flip a coin on this one.
Two-Face?
Yeah. I flipped the coin and it came up JTE. And I'm gonna roll with JTE. I think it's anyone's game to lose. And I think this is gonna be a hell of a high scoring match, but I gotta go with JTE.
There you go. And Saul, who do you have?
I'm rolling with my Latino here. I'm going with JTE.
There you go, JTE. Hypothetically, taking it. Ooh, that's going to make it nice and spicy. And speaking of spicy, the fireworks that came out of this match. Mike Kalinowski defending the Inner Geekdom belt against Chandru Dandapani coming back for it. This one is going to be intense, kids. Oh, this one's going to be mean. Thank God they're not allowed to tweet at each other during the match because, we could have seen some real fireworks go off there.
I see a lot of edits in this match.
That is entirely possible. I mean, I think rolling with gut instinct, I think this is the time that Mike takes it. And I think it's because we've seen Chandru sometimes when he gets really pigeonholed in that villain role, sometimes it takes a toll. We saw that happen, I think, a little bit with him going up against Mara, where he kind of talked about how he didn't necessarily play full heel because he was really feeling that pressure. And I think he might have goofed on himself with all of that Twitter drama that wound up surrounding him. So my gut would be to go with Mike. But Colin, you're the one who actually has to make this choice.
It's my last pick. Pick me last.
All right. Well, fair enough. In that case, we'll start with Mike. Michael, dear boy, who do you have? Michael, my dear sweet son.
I legit thought who you talking to there.
Michael.
I was looking in the chat like, who's Michael?
I know, seriously.
I'm not even call him Michael.
These two, and especially with the recent Twitter drama, like now there's like almost like higher stakes for this match now because now they both have something to prove to the other one. I gotta go with Kalinowski on this one, though. I think he's going to defend the belt, but I think Chandru is going to make him freaking work for it. But I think it's going to be tight. But I think Mike is narrowly going to pull this one out.
I buy it. That makes sense to me. Boggs, what about you? What do you think?
Swag. Drip. As we've heard a few times on the show, I love Mike. Mike's definitely on my Rushmore.
Come on the show, Mike.
Yeah, actually,
we love it.
If you don't mind, you and Shannon, why not?
I'll show up for that shit.
Yeah, but no, man, I'm just picking Chandru. I can see Chandru no, I don't know. I'm picking Chandru. It's super interesting. The studio match, right? 5-rounder, bit tense, bit rivalries. No, I love it. But I'm going Chandru.
There you go. Saul, who do you have winning this match? Is it another swag, drip, drip marathon?
So first I want to point out Alan Smithy. He goes, I saw Chandru versus Mike. I know everything! ! So I guess send some money Alan Smithy's way, and he'll let you know the results.
Boy, John needs a pick. DM me that answer. Let's go.
I think him versus Mara was more about the new categories and less about him playing the villain role. So, but going swag, drip, drip, Chandru all the way. I said it before and I'll say it again. I will never, ever bet against Chandru. Never.
By the way, so Chance is part Latino, by the way, just to confirm.
I know he is, but I'm going Chandru. See, if I go against one Latino, I need to pick another. So, I have to at least pick one if there's two. Either way, I win, right? So I picked JTE, so I can pick against Chance.
Oh wow, there you go.
I got Chance this week. Last week, I think I went against one Latino, but I picked JTE. So I was like, that was the way I went about it. I was like, I picked JTE so I can go against David Del Rio. I balanced it out.
Fair enough. I was just looking at this as well. I just realized that Chandru has never played for or defended the belt live. So that's also going to be very interesting because he won the belt off of Kevin Smets in the digital days. So we'll see how that kind of plays into everything. And I'm just laying that at Colin's feet as the final piece of evidence before he has to make a ruling. Counselor, what do you have?
Yeah, I got Chandru in this. It's really hard, watching that second round from Mike and Chance will stick in my brain against Shazam for the rest of time, and it holds up. So I'm going with Chandru here. I think it's a 1-point game. I think it's that close. I think it's a 1-point game. It's going to be that nail biter. So my final take, Chandru takes it in match of the year.
There we go. And with that, gang, that's 6 matches we're going to be talking about next week. So get ready for a friggin'. If you thought this episode was long at 2:40, I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing next week.
Damn.
I got to be honest, gang. That one's going to be tough. But we're going to stick through it. And hey, what a crew to be able to stick through it with. Starting with Mike, going around the horn. Is there anything you would like to plug real quick?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Mike Shea, and check out my podcast, The Basement Lounge. New episodes every Thursday. This week we talked about baseball.
Hey, nice. That's a sport.
Guardians.
That's also a team. I remember them. Boggs, who do you have winning? Or no, we already did that. Goddamn! Look at what happened.
Baseball.
To my brain.
I have to pick baseball picks now.
This is what 2 hours and 40 minutes does to my brain. Thankfully, I don't have any other streams or matches to call.
We're 3 hours short of a cricket match.
Exactly. I just literally thought, who am I picking? And then there's no match. Just thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the Streamlines. That was really sweet for Colin. I'll just shout out Colin. Thanks for what you've done for the show and everything, and we'll miss you moving forward. And just everyone check you next week.
There you go. Soul, how about you?
Yeah, go check out Pop Culture Universe. We're doing some what if reactions, so go check those out. Colin, I'm gonna miss you, bud.
Yeah, guys, Facebook exists. I you can still talk to me. Yes, I think Chris would be a perfect replacement. There's never enough room for more accents on this show, and if you can replace my shit Southern accent with a nice Scottish accent, then fuck it, go for it.
Should I bring up my Miami accent? I try not to speak with it when I'm on the show.
I really try.
Is this your Queen's
I caught
English
myself
accent?
today coming out of a furniture store after hearing nothing but 50-plus-year-olds talk to me Southernly, and I looked at Guy and said something. I was like, "Holy shit, that sounded like my great great grandmother said that." My bad. I'm sorry.
Goodness. Well, as for me, at John Barr Tweets on Twitter and Instagram, John_Barr on TikTok. I'm finally using that goddamn app. Look up John Barr on YouTube, John Barr on Twitch. And as we bounce on over to Colin, like, just to echo everybody else, like, you know, we started this damn show together. You, me, and Boggs. We've been in this for a minute, and you were so huge in shaping the voice of this show. Like, I think that's a huge part of this, is that you really kind of led this from the top. Obviously, we were kind of bouncing between hosts for a hot second there, but you really kind of stepped up to the plate at a time where we were still finding our footing. And I think a lot of the success that we have is because you were willing to take the bull by the horns and really guide this ship along, much like the Black Pearl. Is that the name of the ship? You've seen them. I don't know. And I think, obviously, the fact that we've gotten so many damn Streamlabs about you is just how indicative of the fact that not only did you help shape the voice of this show just as far as talking about the matches, but you also shaped how we interact with the community. You made this something that really fit onto John Roca's channel because you really interfaced with folks in the same way that, like, drew them to the channel in the first place. And obviously, it's great that you're going to still be on Facebook, because I'm for sure going to be hitting you the fuck up about My Hero Academia again every Saturday morning. We're still going to have our little chats. But it is going to be sad that I'm not going to necessarily be able to have our full fucking 2-hour chats with each other every Saturday. But I'm so incredibly proud of the fact that all of your hard work is now going into a job. Like, I know you're going to fucking tear it up there, man. And I look forward to whatever the hell we get to get up to together in the future. And as we bounce it on over to you, where can the people find you?
Yeah, if you guys give a shit about what I have to say, clearly some of you do. At @the_C Morris is where you can find my thoughts on Instagram and Twitter. I work for the College of Charleston down here in South Carolina, and now I'm producing social media content for them. So any of their sports teams you see videos for, there's a fat chance that I had a hand in making those videos. I'm directing their streams over there. So I'm still in this streaming sports world. I'm just doing it somewhere else and for some other people. And this game has been something for me that, like, was something I watched in my college dorm room by myself. Didn't think anybody else knew what this was, and just did everything that I could to find a way to talk to people about it. And when I saw that post from John Roca in the Facebook group that was like, I'm putting together a show, send me an audition tape. And it was just me in my kitchen, walking around my kitchen, saying how much I love this shit. And it spoke to someone, and it spoke to enough people. So, like, guys, it has been, like, for most people, the last 16 to 18 months have been complete shit. But for me, because of this community and you guys, it has been completely and utterly tolerable beyond belief. And you guys have made it truly amazing. Everyone who comes in here every episode, Jeremy Miller, Ryko, Drunken Prayer, all the people who are literally been in here since before we were even on this channel. Like, we were just doing some show on our own little channel, and you guys still followed us over here, and we have just had so much fun. If you told me that I've been able to talk to basically every single person that I give a shit about in the Schmoedown, aside from a handful, a year ago, I would have called you guys crazy. But this has truly been special. And, I will be back. This is not the end, just a break.
Fair enough. Well, with that, we will be ending tonight's episode of the Ultimate Schmoedown After Show. We will see you all next week for another wonderful episode.
6 matches.
You guys can fucking have that. Have fun with that. Good luck.